A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Five bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells. Move in immediately.
That's it. Let's run!
Let's go! Firefighters! Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a minute, we'll join Chief Cody and rookie fireman Tim Collins at the waterfront, in the neighborhood of the building, which is now practically swarming with monkeys. Only a short time before, as they were being unloaded from a ship, the sling had broken and dumped their cages on the dock. In a panic, their keeper, Lem Lang, had turned in the alarm which brought Tim and the rescue company to what is proving to be their funniest and most important assignment in years. We'll join the boys and the monkeys just as soon as we've heard this interesting message. Let's go, firefighters! Let's join Chief Cody and rookie fireman Tim Collins as they watch the doctor's car leave with Tim's rescue company buddy, Mushnosky. Mushnosky, you will remember, has contracted a bad case of monkey fleas, has had to leave with the doctor for a good old-fashioned doctor.
Oh, poor Mush. Everything seems to happen to him. First it's counterfeit plates, now fleas.
Yeah. Some folks just seem to naturally run into hard luck.
Yes, sir.
But that doesn't help solve our problem. Come on, let's go back to the warehouse where those confounded monkeys are.
Oh, yes, sir, the monkeys. I almost forgot.
If these little rascals are as important to these medical experiments as that man Jackson says they are, we better lose no time catching them.
Yes, sir. According to him, the success of the whole series of experiments depends on this shipment of monkeys. Lives may depend on our catching them.
Well, if our corralling these critters will mean solving the mystery of some fatal disease, we'll not fail them. Come on, let's get to work, huh?
Yes, sir. We sure got a job on our hands. Look at them. Climbing around in that building, swinging from signs, having the time of their lives.
Monkeys. In all my years in the fire service, this is the first time I've ever had to cope with monkeys.
Yes, sir. Well, how can we possibly gather up those slippery little runts one by one and stick them in cages?
Yeah, that seems to be out. Gloves or no gloves.
Yes, sir.
After what happened to Mush, I don't fancy getting too close to him myself.
Well, they're still trying, sir. Just look. Yeah, Al, up there in that ladder, see? He can handle a hose, bucking like a mule any day in the week, but he's reaching for that monkey like he'd rather fall off to get a hold of him.
And I don't blame him a bit.
No, sir.
Well, say, where's that keeper who rang in the alarm, that Mr. Lang?
Oh, there he is over there looking at that neon sign. Hey, Mr. Lang! The chief wants to see you.
He knows monkeys. Maybe he'll have an idea.
Yes, sir.
Dreadful, perfectly dreadful, sir. What are we going to do?
That's just what I was going to ask you, Mr. Lang. That's your department. The way those animals are climbing around, they'd make good firefighters. But as yet, we don't have any of them on our payroll.
Chief Cody, I was merely assigned to watch over them on the ship at Calcutta. I don't know a great deal about monkeys, and after today, I don't want to.
Well, isn't there any way of rounding them up in one spot where we could scoop them up with a net?
You're asking me, Private Collins?
Well, he can't very well ask them, Lang. You've done pretty well so far, keeping them from scattering all over the neighborhood.
That's the bananas, Chief Cody. At least I know they'll stay close as long as we tempt them with something they like. But they're too quick for your men, too slippery, you know.
Yeah, and what happens when you run out of bananas? Won't they start roaming the city?
We've got to see they don't, Tim.
Yes, sir, but we're stuck, sir.
That's one word I've never had to use yet, son. Now, let's see. The fire department has been called in to break up riots, disperse crowds.
Yes, sir, but this is just the opposite.
Still, the same method might work, in reverse. Mr. Lang, can you get hold of more cages quick?
Why, yes, sir. On board ship, there are plenty to spare.
All right, then get them over here fast. Set them up in the corner of the warehouse.
But the monkeys are on the outside of the building.
Well, we'll see if we can't use streams of water to drive them in. Now, have the cages ready, open. Perhaps we can drive them in without getting too close to them.
Hey, that's terrific, Chief. We'll use the hoses on them. I never thought of that.
You would have if you'd had to meet as many emergencies as I have.
Yes, sir. One thing, sir, though. We'll have to play water on them from every angle, and the rescue company doesn't carry that much hose.
Well, I can't think of a better emergency than this. We'll call up an engine company. This is what you might call two-alarm monkey business.
Quickly, with the aid of the crew from the ship, Mr. Lang rushes all the spare cages inside the dark, cavernous warehouse. Meanwhile, even before the pumper comes roaring to the scene, Chief Cody's rescue squad has started coupling their lines to nearby hydrants. A moment later, a great network of lines is spread out about the street, some of them reaching up the fire escape and onto the roof of the warehouse. When all is in readiness, the chief looks about.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Did you get this block roped off?
Yes, sir. Quite a crowd is collected, too.
Okay. Let them watch us, as long as they don't get too near.
Yes, sir.
Lang, you got your cages set up?
Yes, sir, all set, and all the exits from the warehouse are blocked except this big doorway in the front.
Oh, that's no exit. That's going to be an entrance. The main entrance, if this works out.
It's got to. Now, when I give the signal, men, let go with your streams of water from the line. Make sure none of these monkeys get away. Now, keep your pressure low. We don't want to harm them. They're the only way doctors can study that fatal disease. Now, drive them toward this doorway. Ready with your line here, Tim?
Yes, sir. Bring them on.
Okay. Let her go.
Yes, sir.
That stream of water from the roof, Chief Cody, I'm not covered the way your men are. I'm getting soaked.
Well, get inside the doorway if you like, Mr. Lang.
As that crew of monkeys start swarming inside, not me.
Now, water's beginning to send them down the side of the building now, Chief.
Good. They don't seem to like a bath.
No, sir.
Now the boys in the street have to keep them from scattering.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Keep that pressure low. Don't wash them this way. Use your stream to drive them.
Yeah, they're driving them all right now. Hey, keep back of this hose with me, sir.
That group to your left, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Use that water to keep them together.
All right, sir. There you are.
That's it, boy.
Good heavens, they're heading in this door by the score. Look at them rushing in.
They sound kind of mad at us, Mr. Lang. Don't get too close.
I think we're going to be all right, Tim. If those cages inside are ready to receive them, this will be all over in a minute now.
Chief Cody was right, and yet he was wrong. A few seconds later, the last monkey has been dislodged from his perch and driven inside the warehouse. Tim urges the last straggler forward with a stream of water from his hose.
There, go ahead there. Come on, you.
That's it.
Come on.
That does it. Cut the water.
Yes, sir. Let me set this nozzle down, Chief. Hold it a second. I'd like to come along inside with you, sir.
Okay. Hustle, Tim. I want to close this door.
Yes, sir.
Oh, here, give me a hand, will you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I hope those little pests are all in their cages.
Yeah. We'll check with Mr. Lang. He's over there counting like crazy.
Yes, sir. You can just... I know what they mean by a barrel of monkeys now, sir. Listen to them cussing at us, huh?
Well, that's better than the other way around. Well, you look a mite happier, Mr. Lang.
Well, I'm not, and not by a long shot, Chief. According to my count, there are at least half of the monkeys missing.
Oh, you must be wrong.
Yes, we drove every last one in here.
Well, I know. I'm positive of that. And a lot of them rushed straight into our trap. That is the cages. The others must be inside here somewhere.
Oh, half of them are still at large, huh? Well, we can't have that, Tim. We've got to finish the job. Get every last one of them.
Yes, sir, but we'll never even find them, Chief, hiding behind all this stuff.
We've got to. Can't ever let it be said that the fire department couldn't finish a job. We've got to smoke them out somehow.
Well, that means we'll have to keep this door closed, all exits blocked, a tight watch on this place.
We'll bring them out in the open if it takes all night.
But, my dear sir, how? I've heard of hog calling, but monkey calling is something I never heard of.
Yeah, well, I guess I'd better get myself a pair of those heavy gloves, Chief. Start searching those dark corners up on the raft.
No, son, no. It'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Well, what else can we do, sir?
Oh, I don't know, but I think I know someone who might. Spider Jones, the famous monkey man.
The monkey man?
Well, I don't mean that quite the way it sounds. He's human enough, although he is a character.
Oh.
He might just be able to give us the answer.
Well, sir, if he doesn't, and the story gets in the papers, that bunch of monkeys will make a monkey out of the fire department. We'll be the laughing stock of the town.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. We've got to catch those missing monkeys.
Yes, sir, but how, Chief?
Our only hope of corralling them now is Spider Jones. I'll set a guard here, Tim, and then we'll roll.
Does this famous monkey man, as the chief calls him, have a way of rounding up the missing animals? Trying to locate a bunch of cagey monkeys in a big dark warehouse seems like more than even the rescue company can accomplish. Not only the reputation of the fire department is at stake, but the success of those important medical experiments as well. So don't miss the next thrilling episode of The Firefighters. In a moment, Chief Bob Cody will be back to tell you, boys and girls, how you can help the firefighters in your own town. But first, here's a message for all of you. And now, Chief Bob Cody with a special message for the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Attention, firefighters. This is Chief Bob Cody back with an important reminder for you boys and girls. Did you know that certain liquids such as gasoline, benzene, or naphtha give off heavy vapors that can flow along the floor 200 feet or more to an open flame and then flash back to the container? Well, you remember that next time you see anyone working with or near these inflammable liquids. A quick warning against using them in a closed room or anywhere near sparks or a flame may save lives. Well, that is all. Until next time, this is Chief Cody saying, so long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back on this same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's roll!
Let's go! Firefighters!
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
An outstanding example, Lucky Strike.
In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And first, last, always. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
American.
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. James Talley, independent tobacco warehouseman of Durham, North Carolina, has spent a lifetime in the tobacco business. Recently, he said,
season after season, I've seen fine tobacco bought by the makers of Lucky Strike. Yes, fine tobacco, full of flavor, ripe and mild. I've smoked Lucky's myself for 18 years.
And auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Mr. Talley can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Remember,
LSMFT, LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco means real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where we find Rochester tidying up Jack's den.
It's sure messy in here. I can't understand why the boss saves all these things. He's sure sentimental. Look at this. A program from his first vaudeville appearance. Look what it says. The Palace Theater proudly presents that new violin virtuoso, Jack Benny. And special added attraction, that sensational new invention, the magic lantern. Well, I better put these pictures away and... Uh-oh, what's this? A bunch of pink envelopes tied with a blue satin ribbon. Smell that perfume. These must be some of Mr. Benny's old love letters. I'm going to open up one and read it. Well, I'll be darned. Cancel checks. Those are love letters to him. Say, here's something the boss must have mislaid. It's a letter from the doctor who examined him, and it isn't open. I better take it to him.
But, John, without you, life isn't worth living.
Say, Mr. Benny, I found it.
Quiet, Rochester. I'm listening.
John, how can you walk out on me after all we've been to each other?
I'm sorry, Agnes, but marriage isn't for us. It just wouldn't work.
It serves me right. I should have listened to my father.
Your father. If he kept his nose out of it, things might have been different.
Oh, they would, eh? Well, if I never see your face again, it will be all right with me. Goodbye.
That suits me fine. Goodbye.
Gee, this party line is better than a radio. No commercials. Hey, what do you want, Rochester? Quiet, Polly. What is it, Rochester?
I found this letter from your doctor.
Read it to me. I haven't got my glasses.
Yes, sir. It says, the results of your examination show the following. Your blood pressure is normal, your heart is perfect, your lungs clear, your blood count average, and you're in perfect condition. The doctor must have sent you this by mistake.
Nonsense, Rochester. I feel wonderful. There's no mistake. Read on.
Yes, sir. Now, where was it? Oh, yes. You're in perfect condition. I want to congratulate you and hope it's a boy.
What?
Sit down, boss. Let me get you some milk.
Now cut that out.
And it's for the million things she gave.
You can shut up too, Polly. Rochester, let me see that report. You see? There, it was sent to the wrong address. Phew. Rochester, stop holding my hand. I'm all right. I'll get it. You finish cleaning the den. Well, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack.
Gee, Mary, it's good to see you again. Everybody missed you last week.
Well, it was nice of you to let me go back to Plainfield for Mom and Papa's 40th anniversary.
Anniversary.
Hello, Polly.
Well, hello, you.
Poor Polly, she doesn't know she's a girl. How was the anniversary party, Mary?
Oh, wonderful, Jack. Everybody was there. First, Uncle Lou got up and made a speech. Then Cousin Earl got up and made a speech. Then Uncle Harry held up Papa and he made a speech.
Mary, your father at his own anniversary, he got himself inebriated?
Well, Jack, it was such a gay party. Somebody sneaked in and spiked the punch with bourbon.
No kidding. Do you know who did it?
Yeah, Papa.
Oh.
And, Jack, you should have been there to see my sister Babe. She's very fashionable now. She's got that new look.
Shame she's got those old parts.
No, she really looks good.
No kidding.
Yes, in fact, she's got her old boyfriend back. You remember Herman Holquist?
Oh, sure, Hermie. Yeah, was he at the party, too?
No, he couldn't make it. He had to work.
Well, there's one good thing about Herman. He's a steady worker. And that's what Babe wants, stability. Say, there's no chance of Herman ever losing his job, is there?
Of course not. There'll always be garbage.
Oh. Well, maybe it was better he didn't go to the party. When did you get back from Plainfield, Mary?
Thursday night. I was just in time for Claudette Colbert's birthday party. How come you weren't there, Jack?
Well, I was invited, but I felt kind of tired, so I stayed home and played gin rummy with Norman Krasna.
Norman Krasna?
Polly, I'm warning you. One more interruption, I won't take you to see Forever Amber. Mary, I kind of wish I could have gone back to... Mary, what are you doing?
I'm reading this letter from your doctor.
Oh, that. It was just...
Why, Jack, so that's why you couldn't go to Claudette's party.
That letter was sent here by mistake. My goodness.
Say, boss, I was cleaning up the bedroom and I found Mr. Ronald Coleman's hat.
Oh, well, take it back to him later.
Jack, what was Ronald Coleman's hat doing in your bedroom?
Oh, it's a long story, Mary, but Ronnie and Benita spent the whole night here.
I meant to tell you, boss, in the morning Mr. Coleman told me that your mattress was much too hard.
What do you expect, goose feathers?
No, but he didn't expect silver dollars either. And not only that, he said the mattress was lumpy.
Fort Knox should have lumps like that.
Yeah. Rochester, answer the door, will you, please? I still can't understand what happened last week, Mary. Ronald Coleman called me, invited me over to his house for a costume party. When I got there was no party at all. As a matter of fact, they sneaked out the back door, came over here, and went to sleep.
Something wrong, Mr. Benny?
No, Dennis. It's nothing that would interest you. What brings you over here, kid?
Well, I phoned Miss Livingston's house, and her maid told me she was over here. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis. You want to see me?
Uh-huh. You know, I sure missed you, Mary. I thought about you every single day while you were gone.
Really?
Yeah, you went off with the keys to my car.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dennis. I have them in my purse.
Mary, how come you have the keys to Dennis's car?
Well, Dennis took me to a football game, and I had to drive because...
Dennis, stop reading that letter. It's from my doctor.
Why are you keeping it a secret? You should be very happy.
Dennis, don't be silly. That's a mistake.
But the letter says...
I don't care what the letter says. It's impossible.
Oh, yeah, you're not even married.
Yes, I'm glad you figured it out.
Say, Jack, are we going to rehearse the program this afternoon like we always do?
No, Mary, I put it off till tomorrow. I have to go down to the Motor Vehicle Bureau and have my driver's license renewed. It expired over a month ago.
But Rochester does all the driving. Why do you need a license?
Well, I like to have one with me. You know, when I go to a bar, they always ask me if I'm over 21, you know. Anyway, Dennis, Mary, put down that vase. Dennis, we'll have our rehearsal tomorrow. But as long as you're here, you can let me hear your song now. Huh?
Okay.
That's a very good song, Dennis, and your voice is better than ever.
Yeah, that's too bad.
What?
Well, if I didn't always have to keep singing on your Sunday show and my show Wednesdays, I'd be a great actor.
Oh, sure. I suppose you'd be another Edward G. Robinson or a Ronald Coleman.
It was awfully nice of you to say that, old fellow.
Well, stop with those silly imitations, Dennis. You don't sound like Coleman at all.
Well, you thought so last week when I called and invited you to a party.
What? Dennis. Denny boy, you were the one that called me and disguised your voice like Ronald Coleman? You did that? Dennis, answer me. Answer me!
Jack, take your foot out of his mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dennis, how could you do a thing like that to me? Now I realize what a fool I made of myself last week. I don't blame Ronnie for being mad at me. I better call him up and apologize. What a foolish thing that was.
The Ronald Coleman residence?
Hello, is Mr. Coleman there?
Who shall I say is calling?
Jack Denny.
One moment, please.
You know, I feel better already. I mean, I'll explain everything to Ronnie. He'll understand. We'll be friends again. After all, we do have so much.
Hello?
Hello, Ronnie?
This is the butler again, sir.
Well, did you tell Mr. Coleman that I'm on the phone?
Yes, sir, and it's the first time he ever hit me.
Hit you? What's come over him?
I don't know, sir, but when I mentioned your name, he screamed, Jack Benny, Jack Benny. And then he mumbled something about dropping dead.
Well, never mind. I'll just write a note and stick it in his laundry bundle. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
What happened, Jack?
Nothing. Ronnie wasn't in. Dennis, I can't get over it. How in the world could you think of pulling a trick like that?
Well, I don't want to take all the credit, Mr. Benny. Phil Harris helped me think of it.
What?
In fact, it was his idea.
Phil? Phil Harris? So it was Phil who put you up to it. Let me at that phone again. Now fix it. Imagine two guys getting together.
Phil Harris has residence. Algernon, the butler speaking.
Butler? Phil has a butler.
Why not? He's got 2 shows, you know.
I know. Let me talk to Mr. Harris.
Okay. Keep this shirt on.
Some butler. What I'm going to tell Phil is plenty.
Mr. Harris, social secretary speaking.
You like that? A butler and a social secretary. Having 2 shows certainly gone to his head. Put Mr. Harris on the phone, please.
Just a minute. I'll tell Sabu to stop fanning him.
Sabu, look, tell Mr. Harris I want to talk to him.
Okay. Hey, Maharaja, get up off that Persian rug. You want it on the phone.
Okay. Alice, you can take off that veil and stop dancing.
How do you like a guy like that?
Hello?
Phil, this is Jack.
Oh, hiya, Jackson. What kind of a vitamin pill is holding you up today?
Never mind. There's something I want to talk to you about.
What is it?
Phil, did you put Dennis up to playing that trick on me last week?
Oh, you found out about it, huh? Pretty good, eh, Jackson?
Pretty good. Let me tell you something.
I knew that when we did it, you'd appreciate the humor behind it.
Look, Phil.
You're the kind of a man who can recognize the basic fundamentals of satiristical comedy.
Phil.
Yes, sir. When it comes to a sophisticated situation that provokes mirth and laughter, you're the very first to perceive its true value.
Look, Phil, you can't pull the wool
Which
over...
is as it should be, because you're not only a great artist, but a dynamic, scintillating personality.
I am? Phil.
Yes, sir. That's why the name Jack Benny is regarded by millions of people as the ultimate in the field of entertainment.
Well... Well, Phil, it was awfully nice of you to call me. And I certainly appreciate it.
That's okay. Goodbye, Jackson.
Goodbye, Phil. Oh, Phil, I got the most wonderful news to... Oh, I keep forgetting that letter was sent here by mistake. Goodbye, Phil. You know, Mary, that Phil is such a sweet guy.
I thought you were going to bawl him out.
Mary, I'm too big for that. I mean, I'm the kind of a man who can recognize the basic fundamentals of satiristical comedy.
Jack.
What?
Is that your head or is your nose stuck on some bubbalone?
My head and put down that pin. Now, come on with me, Mary. I got to go downtown and get my driver's license. Hey, here comes Don Wilson. Don, what's the matter with you? You're trembling.
Oh, Jack, I just had the most terrible experience. It was horrible. A woman tried to commit suicide.
Suicide? How?
I was walking down the street and she threw herself in front of me. No! Fortunately, I stepped over her.
Good. With your stomach? How did you know? Well, I hope... Good.
I hope I'm not late for rehearsal, Jack.
Oh, Don, I should have called you. We're not rehearsing until tomorrow because I have to go and get my driver's license renewed.
Well, Jack, this whole thing only takes a minute, and we might as well rehearse the commercial while I have the quartet here.
Oh, the sportsmen? Where are they?
Right behind me.
Oh. Hello, fellas. You know, boys, you shouldn't always be walking behind Don. I mean, you're getting pale. You need a little sunshine. Look, Don, I'm really in a hurry. Can't we do
Jack,
this?
it'll only take a minute.
Oh, all right. What is this number you've got?
It's a song called I Believe.
Well, good. Let's hear it.
Okay, now, boys, remember what I told you. Just do the first chorus. I don't think Mr. Benny will like the second one.
Yes, I don't like it when it gets silly, you know. Tell him to go ahead, Don.
All right. Take it, boys.
I believe in wishing wells, and I also believe in a lot of things that Daisy tells. I believe in Lucky Strike, LSM, LSMFT. That's smoke for weed.
We say that's cute,
Don.
Don.
Tobacco when it comes from way down south. But before you light it, you should put it in your mouth.
Well, that's logical.
Healthy Boone, and Speedy Riggs. Take a tip from the man who knows. It's as plain as the face under Randy's nose. LSMFT. Yes, that's a smoke for
Say, that's swell.
Yes, sir. You bet.
Don.
I told him not to do it. Boys, this is the part Mr. Benny doesn't like.
I don't want the second chorus.
He doesn't like the second chorus.
Don.
Boys.
Don.
Boys.
Tell him to stop.
Fellas, you better stop. Wait a minute.
Don. Humphrey Pennyworth. Oh, I can't stand them anymore. Come on, Mary. I got to get downtown. Here it is, Mary. Department of Motor Vehicles. Oh, here's the girl over here taking the application.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes. I came here about my driver's license.
My, how'd you ever think of this place?
Well, you were recommended by some pedestrian, you see. This is one of the places they told me to go. Now, miss, my license is expired, and I want to get a new one.
All right. Your name?
Jack Benny.
Name, Jack Benny. Sex, male. Yeah, but they had him worried this morning.
Mary.
What's your height?
5 feet 10.
Weight?
157.
Hair? $1.98.
Mary, it costs more. She doesn't mean that. She means the color. Miss, my hair is sort of a palomino gray.
Oh, yes. I noticed you're wearing a side saddle. Your eyes?
A lazy lagoon blue. This suit I'm wearing doesn't do them justice.
All right. Take this application and get in line at window 3 for your eye test.
Thank you. Come on, Mary. I got to go to window 3.
Yes, sir. Right over here. You're next.
Thank you. This is where I take my eye test, isn't it?
Yes. Now, can you read the third line on that chart?
Well, not very well without my glasses.
Can you read the second line?
Oh, yes. It says...
would you mind taking a step back?
Not at all. Why?
You're supposed to be at least 1 foot away from the chart.
Oh, yes. I did creep up a little too close there, didn't I?
And now can you still read that second line?
Yes, that's ALXRB.
You're wrong. That's 13769.
Funny, my making such a glaring mistake. Maybe I ought to put on my glasses. There. Is it all right to drive a car wearing glasses?
Oh, sure. I wear them, too. In fact, I think I'll put mine on.
Say, the rims on your glasses are just like mine, aren't
Yes, so they are. Now, looking at the same chart, I want you to... Say, you're right. That is ALXRP.
That's funny. Now it looks like 13769.
You're both wrong. It says Uncle Sam wants you.
Oh, yes. Now, what do I do next?
You have to take your road test. Go right through that door to the street.
Thank you. Come on, Mary.
Who takes the next driving test?
I do. Mary, we'll wait here. I'll be back in a minute.
Follow me.
I hope I won't be nervous. I haven't driven in an awfully long time. This is my car right here.
Now, before we start, I want to find out how much you know about a car.
Yes, sir.
Now, where's your gasoline tank?
In the rear.
Your gas line?
Under the chassis.
Your gauge?
38.
What?
Oh, I thought you said my age. The gauge is on the dashboard.
All right, Mr. Benny. Start the car.
Yes, sir. The motor must be cold.
Shall I crawl underneath and light a can of Sterno?
No, I'll try it again. Well, we're running along smoothly now. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to do?
Yes, get off the sidewalk.
Oh, pardon me. There. We're okay now. And I want you to know that I can really drive better than this, but I'm a little nervous with an inspector in the car.
I understand. Now try and keep your mind on your driving, Mr. Benny.
I will.
See that big truck in front of you?
Which one?
That one. You can take your head out of the windshield now.
Look, Inspector, I can explain the whole thing. It's just that I was...
What's the matter with you? Can't you see where you're going, you dumb ox?
What?
You heard me. I got a good notion to haul off.
Get him, driver!
Yeah, slug him.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, driver. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. Standing here arguing when on our feet lies a poor little dog. Come here, puppy. Up into my arms. Were you hurt bad?
Say, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Anybody that loves dogs is okay with me.
Poor little puppy.
Hey, you know, Bud, you really are a nice guy. I had you all wrong. I'm sorry I flew off the handle.
Oh, it's all right.
I'll see that my insurance company fixes up your car.
Thanks. Come on. Come on, puppy. Let's go home now.
Jack, I just heard a crash. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Come on, let's get out of here.
Okay, but I thought maybe... Jack, what's that you've got cuddled up in your arms?
My toupee. Come on. Let's get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first, it's essential to continuing success.
And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette. Remember what happens at the tobacco auctions? Year after year, at market after market, independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. Percy Joyner, independent tobacco auctioneer of Lewisburg, North Carolina, sold 26 million pounds of tobacco leaf in one season alone. Not long ago, he said,
"At all the auctions I've ever attended, I've seen the makers of Luckies buy really fine tobacco. Ripe, mild leaf that makes a grand smoke. That's why I've been a Lucky Strike smoker for 16 years.
So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember...
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Well, Mary, I'm sure glad I got my driver's license. For a while there, I thought that... Excuse me. Hello? Eddie Cantor? Oh, hello, Eddie. Yes, I'll be on your show Thursday. By the way, how's Ida? Good. How's Marilyn? How's Janet? How's Edna? How's Natalie? How's Marjorie? How's Sam? Eddie, don't get excited. I just threw him in to make you feel good. Yeah, I'll see you Thursday. Goodbye.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist with a message that will save you money. Next Thursday morning, at every store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window, Rexall's world-famous 1-cent sale begins. The sale advertised this week in 5 big national magazines. From then on, Thursday through Monday, April 24th, you can buy 2 regular guaranteed Rexall products for the price of 1, plus 1 cent. Here's how it works. For example, the Rexall price of Rexall's famous mouthwash, MI31, is 69 cents. During Rexall's 1-cent sale, you get 2 bottles for 70 cents. That's right. Just a penny more buys twice as much. Now, this offer of 2 for the price of 1 plus a penny applies to exactly 426 items. All the way from vitamins to toothpaste, from cold cream to iodine, from mineral oil to rubbing alcohol. And what's more important, these are Rexall products. And you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Ruth, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Mr. Scott is having a birthday party today for his youngest daughter. The Harris children have been invited, and Alice is briefing them on their behavior.
Now, children, when you go to the party this afternoon, I want you to behave yourselves.
We will, Mommy.
Remember your manners. Be polite.
Yes, Mommy.
And above all, if they serve anything to drink, be careful not to spill it.
Don't worry, Mommy. This morning I'm as steady as a rock.
Bill, this is a children's party, and you're not going.
But, Alice,
Stop pouting and take off your Hopalong Cassidy suit.
But, honey, I've got to go along to protect the girls. After all, there are going to be boys at the party, and they're liable to play kissing games. And I got to be there to stop them.
Phyllis, we better have a talk with Father. He ain't with us.
Oh, Phil, don't be silly. There's nothing to worry about. Our girls are much too young to be interested in kissing boys.
We better have a talk with Mother, too.
All right, young ladies, you're only 7 and 5, and you have plenty of time to kiss boys.
Daddy, how old were you when you kissed your first girl?
32. Months, that is. That was just kid stuff. I got my first real kiss when I was 14. She was 12. And what a kiss. If you look closely, you can still see the scar.
What scar?
My lower lip got caught in her braces. They had to operate to pry me loose. I'll never forget.
Never mind. Phil, before the party this afternoon, I'll have to go out and get a present for Mr. Scott's daughter. What shall I get? A doll or a paint set or a book?
Honey, please. This is for Mr. Scott's daughter. He's an executive at Rexall, and we got to impress him. Now, we got to give the child something different, yet useful.
Like what?
How about a 5-pound box of money?
Darling, don't you think that might be a little ostentatious?
Not if we use small bills. It's important that I impress Scotty. Don't you realize? I'll get that. Oh, good morning, Harris. Well, if it isn't Mr. Scott, my favorite employer. Come on in.
Well, I'm not dressed properly. I'm wearing a sport shirt that's open at the neck.
Don't be silly, Mr. Scott. You look impeccable. Now, come on in. Gee whiz, I love that sports shirt. And I'm crazy about that Angora sweater you have under it. It's so soft and silky.
Stop fondling the hair on my chest.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Scott. Gee whiz. I could have sworn it was a gray Angora sweater. What's on your mind, Mr. Scott?
Well, I had a puppet show lined up for the children's party today, but at the last minute the man backed out. I thought maybe you could help me find somebody.
Oh, that won't be necessary. You see, I could come over and sing for the kiddies, or hadn't you thought of that?
No, I hadn't. And let's keep it that way. I want some good entertainment.
Hello, Mr. Scott.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Harris. I hope you'll pardon my casual appearance.
Well, I think you look very nice. That's a beautiful shirt. And I love that Angora sweater you're wearing under it.
Honey, it ain't a sweater. It's a painting of Gabby Hayes.
Yes. I dropped over to see you people because you're in show business. Now, Mrs. Harris, I need somebody to entertain at my daughter's party today, and I thought you could help me.
Oh, well, I'd like to help you, Mr. Scott, but I don't do that anymore. You see, I haven't entertained at parties since I worked for Rudy Valley. He used to rent me out for weddings, picnics, clam bakes, and office Christmas parties.
Well, I don't expect you to entertain Mrs. Harris, but I thought you and Mr. Harris might know something.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Scott, while I answer the doorbell.
Oh, don't bother, Harris. I'm closer. I'll answer it for you.
Oh, thank you.
Hiya, Curly. Oh, you must have had a rough night, kid. You look horrible.
Remley, I am not Harris.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Buy One and you get another for just a penny more. Hi, Scotty. Yeah, it's a nice shirt you're wearing. But that thing underneath.
It is not an Angora sweater.
I didn't think it was. I know what it is. It's a wet poodle.
I've talked to you before about showing a little more respect for Mr. Scott. From now on, be nice to him.
Okay. Mr. Scott, I'm very glad to see you. Makes me feel good to see your happy face.
It isn't happy. I feel miserable.
All right, then. It makes me feel good to see your miserable face.
Remley, do me a favor. The Mexican army needs men. Now, as I was saying, Mrs. Harris, about the entertainment, I'd like to get
I don't like your attitude. I came here as a friend.
Remley, I'm sure you came from a nice family. I know your mother gave you a good upbringing. She taught you politeness and good manners, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Then I'll thank you to shut your big fat mouth while I'm talking. It's important that I find an entertainer for my daughter's party.
Well, look no further, Scotty. That's right up my alley.
Well, I'll remember that. And if I ever throw a party in an alley, I'll call you. I'm looking for a good entertainer who can amuse the children.
Why don't you get Boo Boo Laverne?
Who is Boo Boo Laverne?
Only the best bubble dancer that ever appeared at the Burbank. She works with 2 bubbles.
Frankie, please. Boo Boo works with 3 bubbles.
Gentlemen, I wish you wouldn't hold your distasteful discussions in front of me. I don't care whether Boo Boo uses 2 or 3 bubbles or 4.
She never uses 4 bubbles.
She did the night I was there. No.
Scotty. Hey, Scotty, I've got an idea. Maybe you don't want me to entertain at the party, but how about Alice? She's got a lot of talent. Hey, you ought to hear this kid do barnyard imitations. Go ahead, show him, Mirandy.
Cluck, cluck, neigh, neigh, and oink, oink.
I told you this kid had talent.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Stand back while I give you my imitation of a Nickelodeon. Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is having you and music, music, music. I'd do anything for you, anything you'd want me to. All I want is kissing you and music, music, music. Closer, my dear, come closer. The nicest part of any melody is when you're dancing close to me. So put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is loving you and music, music, music.
Put another nickel in and watch your favorite music begin. Favorite songs we used to know have that nostalgic flow. It's music, music.
Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is having you and music, music, music. I'd do anything for you, anything you'd want me to. All I want is kissing you and music, music, music. Closer, my dear, come closer. The nicest part of any melody is when you're dancing close to me. So put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is loving you and music, 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 music.
Scotty, I got another idea that you've got to go for that party. Why don't you show the kids a movie?
Well, that's an excellent idea, Harris. What movie would you suggest?
Well, how about the picture I just made at 20th Century Fox? It's called Wabash Avenue, and girls don't miss it because it's in Technicolor, and you haven't lived until you've seen Phil Harris in all the beauty of his natural pigmentation. All right. Now get to the theater early, and remember, bring soft sandwiches because there'll be no popcorn sold during any of my scenes.
Harris, I don't want to see your picture.
But it's a great picture, Mr. Scott. Alice saw it, and she can tell you. Go ahead. Go ahead, love. Tell him about that Wabash Avenue.
Very well. Wabash Avenue is the best picture I've seen since Lillian Russell. A photo play in which I starred.
Yeah, I know, but tell him all about Wabash Avenue, see? What's it?
It's very similar to Alexander's Ragtime Band, which happened to be my greatest triumph.
Wabash Avenue.
Yes. In Alexander's Ragtime Band, I gave a performance that is still talked about throughout the civilized world because...
Wabash Avenue! Tell him how good I was.
Phil Harris, you're a ham.
You ain't no lamb chop yourself.
Please, both of you have undoubtedly made the greatest pictures in the world, but I don't want my kids to see them. I mean, I want them to see a child's picture, one of the things that Disney makes, like Cinderella.
Disney? Wait a minute, I got an idea. I can get a print of Cinderella. I know Disney personally.
How well do you know Mr. Disney?
I know him well enough to call him by his first name. Herman.
His name is Walt.
Oh. No wonder he never answers me.
Scott, I happen to know Walter very well, and he'll do anything that I ask him, and I guarantee to get you a print of Cinderella for your part.
Well, that's very nice of you, Harris, and please have the picture over at my house at 2 o'clock. And remember, I'm counting on you, so don't let me down.
Don't worry, it'll be there. Hey, that'll get me in good with Scotty. I'll just go in and call Disney and tell him to send a picture right over.
But, Phil, you don't know Mr. Disney that well. He probably won't even talk to you.
Oh, honey, please. Me and Herman are just like this. What are you talking about? Just wait till I go in and call. And you said Disney wouldn't talk to me.
You mean you reached him?
Yes.
Did you ask for the picture?
Yes.
What'd he say?
No.
Well, you did it again, Curly.
Yeah. Now the kids are going to be disappointed.
Why do they have to be disappointed? They can still see Cinderella.
How?
We'll act it out for them.
Francis, that is a capital suggestion. We can do a bang-up job.
For sure we can. Curly, you can be Cinderella. Alice can be Princess Charming. Willie and me can be your stepbrothers, and we'll get whoever else we need for the other part.
Phil is going to play Cinderella?
We have to do it that way. We have too many men actors, so we'll do the male version.
Yeah.
I'll start writing the script right now.
And I'm going to help you.
Now, wait a minute. Do you fellas know the story of Cinderella?
No, we know the story.
Silly girl. Why, honey, everybody knows the story of Cinderella in Wonderland.
Cinderella in Wonderland?
Well, sure, that's where she met the Jabberwocky.
Well, what is a Jabberwock?
Well, thanks for asking that, dear. I was wondering how I was going to get into this sterling comfort. One time there was a mountaineer who felt so mighty brave that he took his trusty gun and went to a dark, dark cave. The reason for his venture was a story that he'd heard about a bad, ferocious creature called the Jabberwocky bird. Now, when he got into that dreary cave, our hunter saw a sight. The Jabberwock had 7 heads, and each one was a fright. He turned around and headed home, running all the way. To all the folks who waited there, the mountaineer did say, it was really again the slithy toast did gyre and gimble in the wave. Old Mimsy were the board robes and the mommy mass out grave. Oh, Trappist day, Kalookalay, and from your Bandersnatch. My aim was spoiled by 7 heads, but that bird I will catch. Then back again into that cave that mountaineer did go. But how he'd finally get the bird, he really didn't know. This time the mountaineer was armed with knives and traps and bait. He had to catch that Jabberwock or meet a sorry fate. Inside the cave, that gruesome bird confronted him once more. The mountaineer had 7 fits and fell to the floor. He offered up a hasty prayer and murmured, it's the end. But 7 Jabberwocky heads said, can't we please be friends? We'll really begin to slithy toast and gyre and gimble in the wave. We'll Mimsy and the board robes and the mommy dress our grave. We'll Frabjous day, Kalookalay, and from your Bandersnatch. The mountaineer said, you mean we're pals? And 7 heads said, natch. The mountaineer just shook his head. He couldn't trust his ears. The Jabberwocky's 7 pairs of eyes were filled with tears. The ugly bird broke down and sobbed, a witch made me like this. And Jabberwocky I must be until a man I kiss. The mountaineer could not resist that bird's unhappy plea. He bravely puckered up his lips and said, "You'll soon be free." He kissed and 7 heads became just one of golden curls. The ugly Jabberwock was then the prettiest of girls. They brillied in the slimy toes and gyred and gibbled in the wave. They mimsied in the border groves and among me rats out grave. Oh, Baptist Day, Galookalay, and from his Bandersnatch, that couple now have 7 kids. And that is quite a bad. But, Harris, you promised to get the movie of Cinderella. I'm not going to let you people act it out. But, Mr. Scott, we got a part in the play for you. I don't care if you have a... You got a part for me? Sure, Scotty. You play my stepfather. Well, don't stand there, Mrs. Harris. Set the scene.
All right. Quiet down now, children. Quiet, please. Quiet. Quiet. We have a treat for you, children. We're going to enact our version of Cinderella. Mr. Harris plays Cinderella. And as the scene opens, we find him on his knees in front of the fireplace, scrubbing the floor.
Woe is me. Scrubbing the floor is so rough on my hands. I wish they'd give me a brush. My stepfather makes me do all the work, and all he does is yell at me, and beat me, and kick me. Sometimes I get the impression he doesn't like me. Oh, here comes stepfather now. Hello, stepdaddy dear. Shut up. Gee, he talked to me. I think he's beginning to like me. Where are your stepbrothers, Francis and William? They're in. Shut up. Francis, William, where are you?
Here we are. Hello, Father.
Hello, son.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello. This one I will not call son. Blasphemy.
Father, I shall need money for a new dress suit for the ball at the palace tonight.
Certainly, son. Anything your heart desires. And Francis? Francis? Is there anything you'd like?
Just a little better reading on your part.
And you, stepson, I'm in a generous mood, so if there's anything you want, just name. Well, Shut up! Fine part I got. Every time I open my mouth, he says, "Shut up!" So mean to me. All I ever get around here is leftovers. Food, clothes. It's always leftovers.
Shut up. Oh, I'm so excited, Father. When I get to the ball tonight, I'm going to ask the Princess Alice for her hand.
I'm going to ask for her heart.
At last, I get some good leftovers. Father, can I go to the ball tonight? You guys are a little late getting that last joke, ain't you? You can't go anywhere. You're just an ugly duckling. Now, get back to your work. Now, come on, boys. Let's prepare for the ball. As for you, Cinderella... I know, shut up. All call me an ugly duckling now, but they'll change their tune when I grow up to be a wild goose. Gee whiz, if I only had pretty clothes and a coach to take me to the ball. Oh, isn't there somebody who can help me? Oh. Who are you?
I'm your fairy godmother, Max.
This is the fairy godmother.
You said it, Mac. What's on your mind?
Fairy godmother, I want to go to the ball tonight, but I have nothing to wear.
You've come to the right guy, Wonder. What kind of outfit do you want?
Well, I'll need a tuxedo, new shoes, and a coat.
Okay, I'll put the double whammy on you. Bend over and I'll tap you with my magic wand. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. A tux and shoes for this here schmo.
I'll be darned. He did it. Oh, gee, look at my suit. It's beautiful. And look at my slippers. They're made of glass.
Of course. Now get going.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Got a feet.
All right. One thing I can't stand, it's a wise fairy godmother.
Oh, still, I'll give you another pair. There. Now get going. Remember, you'll have to be back at the stroke of midnight.
Why?
That's when the rental on the tuxedo is up. Otherwise, your friendly fairy godmother tuxedo shop will charge you for another day. Have a good time, Mac.
Oh, you danced divinely, Princess Alice.
Oh, thank you, kind sir. We've been dancing for hours, but I don't know who you are. What's your name?
Cinderella. But my father calls me Shut Up.
I beg your pardon.
I said, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't ask you nothing.
Then why did you tell me to shut up?
That's my name.
What's your name?
Shut up.
Hey, shut up yourself.
At last she called me by my name.
You're the most fascinating man I ever met, and I want you to marry me.
Oh, but I can't, Princess Charming. I can't. Don't you see, I'm a poor man. I haven't any money. I'm broke.
I'm loaded.
I know, I read it in Winchell's column. Fine thing when you have to tell him before your own husband. It's community property, you know. Ah, Princess, I would like to tell you just how wonderful you are. How much... Hark. The chimes are striking midnight. I must flee. Goodbye, fair princess. I must away.
But Cinderella, don't go. Wait. He's gone. Now I'll never know who... What's this? He dropped his slipper. I shall search the kingdom until I find the dainty foot that fits. This 13 triple E. Oh, I've searched every house in the kingdom, but with no success. This is the last place.
Well, try the slipper on my foot, Princess.
Very well. No, it doesn't fit. Now may I try it on you, sir?
Yeah, if you want.
There. Why, the shoe fits you.
Yeah. I don't like the style. You have the same thing in an open-toe pump with high heels?
But I tell you, it fits.
Don't high pressure me. I saw something in I. Miller's I like better.
Wait. It's too big for you, too.
Yeah. Now try it on me, Princess.
Very well. Sorry, doesn't fit. Your foot is much too small.
But how can that be? I've always had the biggest feet in the kingdom.
Now try it on me. me, Princess.
You're much too small to fit this slipper, but I'll try it. Why, it fits.
Well, how come it fit me last night and this morning it fits him?
Simple. While you was asleep, I changed feet with you. Come, Princess, let us away to your palace and count your money.
Now, wait a minute, Fairy Godmother. You can't...
Shut up!
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment, but first, here's your Rexall family druggist.
If you're looking for a painless way to lower your cost of living, let me remind you that the easiest method I know is only 3 days away.
You mean Rexall's 1-cent sale?
I do, ma'am, because it's a nationwide opportunity to save. Everywhere in the country, wherever you see the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and the following Monday, are the miracle days when you get 2 fine-quality, guaranteed Rexall products for the price of 1, plus 1 cent.
Exactly how does that work?
Well, take our 100-tablet bottle of Rexall aspirin for an example. Ordinarily, it sells for 49 cents, but during the 1-cent sale, you get 2 bottles for 50 cents.
Why, that means a penny more buys twice as much.
Exactly, ma'am. What's more, you'll find exactly 426 of these twin bargains in our stores. Everything from Rexall Milk of Magnesia to Rexall Stork nursing bottles. From Rexall Foot Remedies to Rexall Vitamin products.
Then I'm saving my pennies for Thursday.
And save a lot of them, ma'am, for every one of them doubles your buying power. Best of all, you'll be getting Rexall products, and you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to you all from Rexall.
We're a little late, so good night, folks.
Remember, next Thursday begins the 4 biggest bargain days in the year. Rexall's world-famous nationwide 1-cent sale. The sale advertised this week in 5 big national magazines. The sale where you get 2 top-quality, guaranteed Rexall products for the price of 1 plus 1 cent. Remember, next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the following Monday, look for the store with the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. And then step inside and buy twice as much for just a penny more.
Next, Sam Spade, then Richard Todd and Great Expectations on NBC.
Well, men, for a long time, Jack Benny has been feuding with Fred Allen. But thousands of you guys in the AEF have commanded that on this Christmas Eve, the feud should be patched up. And right this minute, the Martins and the Coys of radio are holding a special peace conference in New York. So, hello, New York. Command performance ready for Fred Allen and Jack Benny.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from New York City, we'll bring you 2 lads who, after a 7-year misunderstanding, have reunited in the spirit of the Christmas season. So here they are, folks, those 2 entertaining boys, the old vaudeville team of Jack Benny and Fred Allen.
Thank you. Pardon me, Mr. Announcer, but I think you have that billing a little wrong. The proper way to announce this act is Fred Allen and Jack Benny. You see, my name comes first.
What do you mean, your name first?
Well, if you will remember, Mr. B, I paid the room rent today. We are not sleeping on the fire escape tonight.
Oh, that's right. Introduce us again, Mr. Wells.
If you will.
Yes, thank you. So here they are, folks, those 2 entertaining boys, the old vaudeville team of Fred Allen and Jack Benny.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. I just happened to think of something. Mr. Announcer, my name should come first.
Your name?
Yeah, you see, I'm the guy that got our tuxedos out of hock. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
If it wasn't for me, you'd be here in your underwear tonight.
You wouldn't even be here, Mr. Benny.
Wait just a minute. I can straighten this whole thing out very easily. Here they are, folks. Those 2 hams, Blue Eyes and Nasal Hazel.
Say, Jack,
People are, this is great, isn't it? 3 receptions and we haven't done anything yet.
Wonderful, yes.
People are certainly, I wanted to get a little joke in if you don't mind.
No.
People are certainly saving their tires these days. You know, I was riding down 42nd Street there this afternoon on a streetcar, and Henry Ford got on.
Fred, wait a minute. Bob Hope just did that joke in Hollywood.
Well, I know, Jack, but there's 3 hours difference in time. That joke didn't even get here yet.
See, I thought you were just giving it another chance. You know? Freddie, Freddie, I'm sorry that
Don't laugh if you're sorry. Play the part. If you're acting, if you're sorry.
Look, Freddie, I'm terribly sorry that I argued with you over our billing.
Well, I'm sorry, too, Jackie. After all, this is Christmas Eve.
Yes, sir. And, Freddie, you know what the greatest thing in the world is today? It isn't money, is it?
No, it isn't. And it isn't butter, Jackie.
And it isn't sugar.
No, it isn't sugar, Jackie.
I tell you, Fred, the greatest thing in the world today is friendship.
You're right, Jack. Friendship.
If you're ever in a jam, here I am. If you're ever in a mess, SOS. If you ever feel so happy you land in jail, I'm your bail. It's friendship, friendship. Just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. La la la, dig dig dig. Oh, Freddie.
Yes, Jack?
I understand there's a shortage of fat.
Why don't you turn in your head? If you're ever up a tree, phone to me, I'm on key.
If you're ever down a well, ring my bell.
If you ever lose your teeth and you're out to dine, borrow mine.
It's friendship, friendship. Just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgate, ours will still be great. La la la, chop chop chop.
Oh, Jack.
Yes, Freddie.
I understand there's a shortage of heads.
So why don't you turn in one of yours? If they ever black your eyes, be wise.
If they ever cook your goose, turn me loose.
If they ever put a bullet right through your brain, I'll complain. It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forget, ours will still be it. It's friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will be the nuts. Doddle, 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 hep, hep, hep. Oh, Merry Christmas.
And now, fellas, I'd like to present a couple of men you all know. And it took a lot of us to bring these 2 men together tonight. And it'll probably take a lot more to pull them apart. Jack Benny and Fred Allen.
Stop bowing, Benny. Every time that gray head goes by, it reminds me of Barbara Frietchie.
You're jealous, Fred, because I can bend without creaking. Well, Jack and Fred, it's good to see you back together for Christmas and not fighting. After all, 2 middle-aged men should watch their blood pressure.
Look who's talking, middle-aged men. Listen, Hope, your middle is aged more than ours.
That's just a figure of speech, really.
Well, with a figure like yours, I wouldn't go around making speeches, Besides, Bob, you've got us all wrong. There was never any ill feeling between Jack and me.
What are you talking about, Fred? I heard you say on the air one night that Benny squeezed the dollar bill so hard that Washington got buck teeth.
He did not, Bob. All he said was, I wouldn't pay a nickel to applaud a bubble dance with a hat pin.
Sounds as though Hope's writer wrote that for you.
Yeah.
No, I can't. No, you fellas have got the whole thing wrong. I merely said that Jack took the first buck he ever made, slapped it on his head, and had skin grafted over it. Every time he walks down Hollywood Boulevard on Dollar Day, his scalp twitches. Bob, that was just a casual remark made in passing. There was no malice intended.
Of course not. Hey, that's a straight line. What am I doing with that?
I'd settle for a line, but just a second, Jack. How about the time you said Fred's eyes looked like fly specks peeking over two ping pong balls?
Now, wait a minute. Bob, now wait. I've got the face, and you guys are doing all the mugging. I mean, Jack never said that at all. All Jack said was that I looked as though Santa Claus had come down my nose and left a bag under each eye.
I did not, Fred. Remember, I said you were the only civilian I know with a sad sack under each eye.
That's right, Jack, and I think that's one of the biggest laughs you have ever gotten on the air.
Well, thank you, Freddie.
That's the spirit. That's more like it, boys.
What's more like it, son?
Yes, we can straighten this out ourselves, Mr. Skelton.
Oh. Please, that's the Sinatra of my life. Please.
You have a line coming up, Mr. Hope.
That's you, though.
All right, I'll give you the other line. Who asked you to squeeze toothpaste on these troubled waters?
Well, I was only trying to be nice, but that's out of character for me. I'm going to get out of here. You two guys lean on each other. So long. Nice exit.
Gee, he got a big hand there, didn't he?
Yes, Jack. People were sure glad to see him go. You know, Jack, is this the same program that Jimmy Durante was on? Is this the same program
I think so. It's supposed to be a Christmas program. I didn't think we'd get on till New Year's. Well, Fred, here we are, though. And am I happy to see you?
Yes, Jack, here we are, and am I happy to see you.
Gee, Fred, you're looking fine.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. You're looking fine, too.
Well, this can't last long, fellas. Anyhow, Fred, welcome to California. What are you out here for? The orange picking season?
Well, I have been doing a little picking while I'm waiting to hear from Monogram. But I really came out here to make a picture, Jack.
A picture? Good. You know, things have changed since you made your last picture, Fred. They talk now.
Well, I talk a blue streak. I'm ready for Technicolor, if they go.
Well, I see you brought your...
Now, wait a minute. That's my laugh.
I know. I see you brought your famous wit over the Rockies with you. By the way, where are you living, Fred?
Well, I've only been here 6 weeks, Jack. I haven't gotten the room yet.
Yeah. Well, it gets pretty chilly here at night, Fred. Doesn't the cold bother you?
No, I picked up an old Indian blanket at Albuquerque. It's a little crowded in there with the old Indian, but that's housing in California.
Yeah, Jack. You know, when you're away from home nowadays, Fred, things are pretty tough. Travel is difficult, too. Now, take my case. I've just returned from a 32,000-mile trip overseas where I entertained thousands of men.
I was waiting for that. I was wondering how you were going to work that in.
It was a thrilling trip, Fred. South America, Africa, Sicily, the boot of Italy.
The heel finally reached the boot.
Fred, you're jealous, that's all. When I was in Egypt, I did a special show for King Tut.
Now, wait a minute. King Tut has been dead for 3,000 years.
I know, he was a very tough audience there. And he still looks better than you do.
Well, I wouldn't talk. Every time I look at your scalp, I think of that song, The Surrey with the Fringe on Top.
I don't get the connection, Fred. I drive an automobile.
Well, all right. Surrey with the fringe on top, Maxwell with the jerk inside. What's the difference?
Lucky for you, Alan, that I don't understand that type of humor.
You don't understand my humor? Why, I remember you in vaudeville, Benny. The only reason you carried a fiddle was to beat off the audience.
Well, Fred, you never had to beat off an audience. For your first 10 years in the theater, you did your act in the men's powder room.
And that reminds me, Benny, you still owe me 40 cents for towels, by the way.
Those were the happy days, though. Fred, remember the time we played South Bend? Krause and his mathematical cat were on the bill with us.
Krause with his mathematical cat. Remember the opening show? The cat had kittens on the stage, and we couldn't top it?
Yeah. Funny, too. You shouldn't have had any trouble with that puss of yours. See, I thought that would have been a yell.
I did, too. Puss seldom says.
Cat,
well, Puss has seen its best day,
I
guess.
Say, Fred, will you ever forget Mrs. Swallow's boarding house in Baltimore?
Oh, in Baltimore. I had a room, Jack, that was so small, the ceiling was so low, the mice had to run around on their hands and knees.
Well, Fred, in your room, they had to pray for something to eat.
Well, of course, in your room, they were sure of a crumb. They have little... Well, things were tough in those days, Jack, but we didn't mind, did we?
No, and I want to say right now, Fred, you were a real trooper.
That goes for you, too, Jack. You're the salt of the earth.
Thanks, Fred. But really, you shouldn't admit it. I mean, even if it's Christmas, we shouldn't be so friendly.
Why not, Jack?
Don't throw bouquets at me. Don't please my folks too much.
Don't laugh at my jokes too much. People will say we're in love. Don't sigh and gaze at me.
Are you swooning?
Your sighs are so like mine.
Your eyes mustn't glow like mine.
People will say we're in love.
Don't start collecting things.
Give me my rose and my glove. Sweetheart, they're suspecting things. People will say we're in love, so in love. People will say we're in love.
Pardon me, sir. My name is Jack Benny.
Jack Benny?
Yes. Are you the floor walker?
Well, what do you think I am?
That's beside the point. Are you the floor walker?
Where do you think I got these flat feet? At a duck farm?
Now, don't get fresh, young man. Where's the necktie counter?
Aisle 3 to your left, but I warn you, bones are being broken over there.
Don't worry, I can take a little shoving and pushing.
Well, you could have fooled me, Daddy.
If I wasn't afraid of getting my pockets picked, I'd take one hand out and punch you right in the nose. So long, dreamboat.
So long, you old tub.
Pardon me, sir.
pardon me, sir. My name is Fred Allen.
Fred Allen?
Yes, are you the floor walker?
Oh, if I was only a rattlesnake, I'd coil up and hiss right in your face.
Now hold your Cobra Chanel, Bright Eyes. Are you the floor walker, or are you breaking that gardenia in for a friend?
I'm the floor walker, lily pad. You think I'd spend a minute in this madhouse if I wasn't getting $18 a week in my lingerie wholesale?
Well, look, if
Am I the floor walker of all the asinine interrogations? Who do I look like, Tokyo Rose?
I don't care if you're the mother of the mademoiselle from Armentier. Just tell me where the necktie counter is.
Aisle 3, but if you expect to get through the mob, I'd suggest parachuting in.
Thank you. And where are the parachutes?
Sorry, only one question to a customer.
I'll look around and find one myself.
Now, please, mister. Look, I saw this tie first, and it's mine. Let go. Now, madam, how much is this tie?
$3, including tax.
Oh. Oh, well, you can have it, mister. Say, madam, haven't you got anything, shall we say, cheaper?
Don't drag me in this. If you want something cheaper, here's something at $1.50.
$1.50 for that tie?
Yes, it's hand sewn.
I don't care if Betsy Ross made it. It's too much. You see, I'm buying this tie for a friend of mine, Fred Allen.
Fred Allen? Oh, I heard him on the radio. Why didn't you just buy him a piece of rope and let him hang himself?
You mustn't talk that way. Even I wouldn't say that about Fred at Christmas time. You see, I'm Jack Benny.
You are?
Yep.
Why don't you
buy a piece of rope, too? I know. Look, never mind the wisecracks, please. I'd like to get a tie for Alan for, well, say, in the neighborhood of 75 cents.
Well, here's one for 59 cents. The new nifty hand-painted model is advertised in the Hobo News.
Say, that's a beaut. I'll take it.
Okay, but the material is awful. It causes a rash on the chest.
Good. If Alan gets a rash on that hollow chest of his, it'll look like a fire in Laurel Canyon. No kidding. His chest is so hollow, when he breathes, there's an echo. I'll take that tie and put it in a real expensive box.
How much do you want to pay for the box?
Just put it in a bag.
I resent that.
Not you. I meant a paper bag.
I see. Say, isn't that Fred Allen over there?
Where? Yes, it is. He's heading this way. I'll bet that louse is going to buy me one of these cheap neckties. Listen, I'll tell you what, miss. Let me duck down behind the counter with you.
Okay, but no tricks.
At your age, are you silly? I just want to do a little spying.
Well, get your head down off the counter. People will buy anything these days.
All right.
Yes, sir? What can I do for you?
I'd like to buy a tie for an old friend.
Well, here's a nice one for $3.
No, you see, this feller is more old than friend. Wait a minute, I got him. Say, that's just the tie I want. Your author was drafted. Huh? Say, that's just the tie I want. That 59-center, the polka dot cheesecloth there.
Okay, but I must tell you, this material causes a rash on the chest.
Well, don't worry about it. The guy I'm giving this to hasn't got enough blood to break out in a rash. Wrap it up.
That's so.
Gee, this is a hot one, Mr. Allen. Not 2 minutes ago, I sold the same identical tie to... Ouch!
What's, What is the matter? the point that wasn't in the script here. What's the matter, miss? You jumped.
Well, you jump, too, if someone just bit your ankles. Listen, Blue Eyes, that hurts.
Quiet. Hey, what's going on behind there? Oh, ho! So it's you, Benny.
Hello, Freddie.
What are you doing down there on the floor, Benny? Teaching the mice how to be rats?
No, Freddie. I was tired from shopping, so I thought I'd lie down for a while.
Shopping, eh?
That's right.
Brother, you could shop from now until 1980 and still not demobilize your wallet.
You should talk. You're tighter than the hinges on the door of Inner Sanctum.
Now, don't cloud the issue. What are you doing looking at neckties? Don't you crochet your own anymore?
Well, to tell the truth, Freddie, between radio and pictures and managing the Jack Benny all-girl football team, I have little time left for crocheting.
That softball team, isn't it? You changed
softball, I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry now.
The Jack Benny all-girl soft football team. I'll get them both.
That's what you get for having your bifocals on top, you see. You put them on top so you can read all the comedy lines. I know that. Right? Say, I saw your team...
I got the bottom one so I can see what I'm whistling at.
Go out with Little Women, though. Say, I saw your...
We'll be here all night, you know.
No, that was Hope and Durante, not us. I saw your team play the other night, Jackie. Who was that shortstop? Her arms looked like buggy whips, and she had no calves in her legs.
That was me. My regular shortstop was home having a baby. By the way, Freddie, what are you doing at the necktie counter?
Well, I know several people with necks, so I thought I'd get them something to rest their Adam's apples on.
Well, personally, I don't see anything here that appeals to my good taste.
Oh, you don't, Listen, Jackson, you took up my time, picked out a tie, so hand over the 59 cents.
Never mind.
And you bit my ankle.
Well, you can't charge me for that. I didn't like it.
Listen, Jack, did you buy one of those 59-cent dish rag foulards as a gift?
Oh, it's for a friend of mine who writes a lot. I thought he might like it for a pen wiper.
I wouldn't wipe my razor on one of those. Yes, Just wrap up one for me, too, miss, just in case.
You know, Freddie, I've been wondering what to get you for Christmas. Believe me, I've combed every basement.
Oh, any little thing will do, Jackie. It's not the gift, after all. It's the spirit in which it's given.
That's right. You know, I like you, Fred.
I like you, too, Jackie Wacky. And I enjoy your radio program.
You do?
Uh-huh. You know, most people fall asleep when you're broadcasting. But me, I stay awake. I don't care what people say, you're great.
Well, thanks, Fred. You know another thing, Freddie? I think you're wonderful in pictures.
Really?
Gee, with that face of yours and those bags under your eyes, what character parts you can play.
Really?
Certainly, but me, all I can be is a good-looking juvenile.
Oh, right.
20 or 30 years, I'll be washed up. But you with those bags and wrinkles, you can go on forever.
Oh,
you know, with those wrinkles, you look like a convertible with the top halfway down.
Oh, you're just saying that, Jack.
No, I'm not. Why, you can play anything from the Hunchback of Notre Dame to Dracula's other wife. But I'm type. All I can be is the perpetual pretty boy.
Now, Jackie, don't let your beauty depress you as it does everyone else. You are destined to be a great lover, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But I'd rather be like you, Fred, a character and a great wit. Gosh, what a kick I get out of those jokes you think of. You know, those ad-libs you pull.
Oh, they're really nothing.
I know, but does the public realize that? They think you're the top.
Well, what the public doesn't know won't hurt us, eh, Jackie? Why, if your fans could see you in the morning before Rochester assembles you, they'd run a mile.
2 miles. Say, Freddie, look, here's the music counter. I think I'll try this violin.
Gosh, that's,
Just 1 second. Wait till I play a little extra.
Are you playing or tuning?
Yes, I will in just a second. Ma, what time is it?
Gosh, that's beautiful, Jackie, it says here.
Here, you. Put that violin down. Who do you think you are, Yosha Hypers?
Wait a minute. Why, well, listen, Hypers. Wait a minute.
You got Durante's glasses on. You can't...
Hypers is plenty worried about me, brother.
Hypers wouldn't spit on you.
Oh, he wouldn't, eh? Well, he did, Smarty. I wouldn't have lost that page for anything.
Now, hold your temper, Jackie, and you, big boy, you're tired and overworked. This is Christmas Eve. You're just not in the mood, the proper festive mood.
Say, Fred, I've got an idea. Take that banjo on the counter. We'll play a duet and give this chap a taste of the Christmas spirit.
All right. Do you know by any chance a song called Jingle Bells?
Most of it, Freddie. Let's go.
All right. Now, wait a minute. We don't want to sound as though... We don't want to... Ready? That was a hangnail did that. I saw it. You ready? Second chorus.
Not so loud. Young man, how do you feel now?
Yes, how did you like our little number?
I may not be Santa Claus, boys, but watch me go up that chimney.
Well, we sure got a rise out of him, Jackie. Now I've got to be running along.
Me too. Oh, Freddie, I almost forgot. Here's a little gift. Now, don't open it tomorrow.
Maybe not then. And here, Jackie's a little gift for you.
Gee, thanks. What a surprise.
Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas, Freddie.
Merry Christmas to you, Jackie.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Stinker.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
That makes life seem worthwhile. Dwells in your eyes, and the spell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dick Trout, John Brown, Charles Dant and the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing with a hey and a hi and a ho, ho, ho.
With a hey and a hi and a ho, 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 you start off the day with a glow, ho, ho. Sing all the way as the way you go with a hey and a hi and a ho, ho, ho. Up go the blinds and you know, ho, ho, it ain't gonna rain anymore, ho, ho. Sun's gotta shine 'cause you made it so with a hey and a hi and a ho, ho, ho. While you buy the paper on a little happy little hum, cut a little caper, singing happiness, here I come. With a hey and a hi and a ho, 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 you smile from your head to your toe, ho, ho. Pack up your blues and away they go. With a hey and a hi, a hey and a hi, a hey and a hi and a ho, ho, ho. With a hey and a hi and a ho, ho. With a hey and a hi and a ho, ho. Hey and a hi and a hey and a hi and a ho.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, the main topic of conversation these days in the town of Weaverville is, of all things, modern art. For the eminent American artist Harlan Dunning is giving a one-man exhibit of his works at the local museum. And joy supreme, the exhibit will include a painting owned by Mrs. Herbert Anderson, a Dunning which has hung over her mantelpiece for years. Well, our young hero, Dennis Day's art studies ended at the age of 3 when he lost his crayon book. So Mildred has sent him down to the museum this morning to soak up all the knowledge of art he could. He has just returned, bone dry.
Did you really study the paintings and statues carefully, Dennis?
Well, I tried to, Mildred. Did people actually pose for those statues?
Well, sure. Why?
Gee, there must have been even more virus X around then than there is now.
Oh, Dennis.
Well, I couldn't help being a little surprised at those paintings and statues, Mildred. I thought they'd stop posing people in that condition after they were 2 years old.
But, Dennis, that's art.
Well, maybe so, but there was one picture there that... Well, I won't tell you what the title was, but I'm not going to open my eyes before noon during September.
Dennis, that was September morn. That's a classical pose.
I bet it could get popular.
Oh, golly, and I was hoping when I sent you down to that museum you'd get something out of it.
All I got was my life unsheltered.
Well, at least you got to see the Harlan Dunning exhibit, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, it was off in a little room by itself. Anyway, I didn't blush at his pictures. I couldn't make head or tail of them.
Well, Mr. Dunning's a modern painter.
Oh.
In modern painting, it's more the feeling you get from the work. The objects aren't supposed to look like they do in real life.
He's got that part of it down to a science.
You couldn't understand his paintings at all?
No. There was one there that I thought was a picture of a baby. I kept wondering why it only had 4 fingers. Then I found out later it was a cow.
Well, that's funny. The Dunning mother owns is just a simple little landscape that anyone can... Oh, good morning, Mother.
Good morning, Mildred. Dennis.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Anderson.
Dennis has just come back from the museum,
The
Mother.
museum? Did you see my picture, Dennis? The Dunning I loaned them for the exhibit?
Oh, yes, ma'am. There was quite a big crowd around it.
Oh, I just knew there would be.
Yeah, they have it hanging over the Coca-Cola machine.
How dare they hang my painting in such a place?
Oh, I think it's on account of the frame. There's a lip on it that's good for opening bottles.
Oh, there is there? Well, we'll see about this.
Oh, now don't get excited, Mother. I'm sure they'll take very good care of it.
They'd better. Your father paid a fortune for that painting. Do you know what he'd threaten them with if anything happened to it?
You?
They wouldn't like it, I can promise you that. I'm going to phone that museum this instant.
Gee, she sure is proud of that painting, isn't she?
Well, you can't blame her. It's the only real art treasure she ever owned. Daddy surprised her with it on their first wedding anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yes. Mother didn't have any idea what she was getting.
Well, neither did your father the year before.
Dennis, how can you say things like that? Why, Daddy's the happiest man in the world.
Oh, hello, Mr. Anderson.
Hello, children.
something wrong?
Wrong, you ask. You know that Harlan Dunning is in town? And that the painting I gave your mother is hanging in the museum?
Well, of course. What of it?
Just this. A secret I've kept for 20 years is about to be made painfully public. That painting isn't a genuine Dunning at all.
What?
Mr. Dunning didn't paint it? Gosh, what'll Mrs. Anderson say?
She'll probably ask you to have 6 of my friends standing by for a load.
But I don't understand, Daddy. How did it all happen?
Oh, it's a long, sad story, Mildred. The first year Pupsy and I were married, I was in New York on business. One afternoon, a couple of us went to Greenwich Village.
Gee, I've heard of that place. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Well, so had I. I'd even passed through it once on a streetcar.
Boy, you've really lived, haven't you?
Yes, indeed. Well, suddenly I realized that the following week was our anniversary. I reached into my pocket, pulled out $3. All that was left after a big week of cranking at the penny arcade.
Oh, golly.
Well, to make a long story short, I finally found a dark-bearded Frenchman in a smock who was selling paintings. He sold me that picture of Pupsy's for the $3, including the frame.
Gosh, and then you signed Harlan Dunning's name to it?
Yes, and told her it cost me $200.
Oh. And now Mr. Dunning's in town and the whole story will come out. Oh, Daddy, Mother will never speak to you again.
Well, I don't think I can count on it, Mildred.
Gee, if there was only some way to keep this Dunning from seeing the picture. Hey, wait a minute. He's stopping at my boss's house. Maybe I can get some ideas from Mr. Willoughby.
Oh, my boy, if you only could.
Oh, do you really think you might, Dennis?
Well, it's possible. He's always giving me a piece of his mind when I don't ask for it. Maybe he can spare a hunk when I do. Mr. Willoughby?
Yes, Dennis?
Is it possible you'd do something for me? A favor?
Why, Dennis, you know how I feel about you.
Yeah, but would you anyway?
Well, what is it you want?
Well, Mr. Willoughby, I'm faced with a problem that calls for a bit of skullduggery. I've come to you because you've got more duggery in your skull than anyone I know.
You're very kind. My entire duggery is at your disposal.
Well, here's the problem. You see, this painter, Harlan Dunning, is stopping at your house.
Yes, what about it?
Well, it's very important that I prevent him from doing something. Now, first of all, do you think he'd take a bribe?
A bribe? What kind of bribe?
Oh, a pretty good one. Say $3.
Why, Diamond Jim.
No good, huh? Well, then maybe you've got something on him that I could use.
Something on him?
Yeah, something horrible he did once, like wife beating or grain trading.
Dennis, don't you think this has gone far enough? Just what are you trying to do? Blackmail a man who is now in my house as a guest of my wife?
Guest of your wife? Hey, maybe there's a romance we could nail him on.
A romance with my wife?
I'll grab at any straw when I'm desperate.
Dennis, you can stop this nonsense about Harlan Dunning. I'm not interested in your problem, and I don't care to hear any more about it.
But Mr.
That
Willoughby...
is final, Dennis. Oh, that reminds me, though. Run up to the barber shop on the corner and make an appointment for Mr. Dunning. He'll be in at 1 o'clock.
The barber shop?
Yes, and tell Roy to do a good job. Dunning wouldn't want to go to his exhibit unless he were perfectly groomed.
Hey, he wouldn't at that, would he? Mr. Willoughby, I just got an idea.
Oh, the poor, lonely little thing. What is it?
Well, it's something I have to do during lunch hour. Could you possibly see your way clear to give me one today?
Well, I suppose it's all right just this once. Don't think I'm setting a precedent, though.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not a radical. I'll see you later, Mr. Willoughby.
Oh, Dennis, wait a minute.
Oh, Mildred. Oh, gee, something important has come up, Mildred. I'm on my way right now.
But you invited me to come down and eat lunch with you today.
I know, and I'm sorry you made that long trip with the sandwiches. But you see, this is for your father.
Oh, you mean you've got...
Yeah, I got an idea to keep Dunning from appearing at the exhibit or anywhere else in public.
Oh, golly, honestly? Well, what? How?
Oh, come on, I'll tell you as we go. Oh, this is a killer. Boy, am I a low-down, dirty rat. Wait till you hear it.
Oh, Dennis, you're just marvelous. marvelous.
Sure, and did you see how easy it was? I told Roy Mr. Dunning wanted a shave and a haircut, but out at Willoughby's, not here.
Yes.
And when he comes back, it'll be too late. Hey, Roy's white jacket fits me pretty good, doesn't it, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, look. There's a man coming across the sidewalk now. It must be Mr. Dunning.
Yeah, quick, get out of sight. I'm all set.
Oh, good luck.
Good day.
Well, 1 o'clock, right on the dot. So my name is Giuseppe Antonio Silvestro Bacigalupo Graziani. I'm the barber. You the Costa, have a seat.
What was that name again?
Giuseppe Antonio Silvestri Bacigalupo Graziani.
Why, the sign outside says Roy D. Flugelheimer.
That's correct. That's what my name is. I mean in English.
Oh, I see. Well, I'd like a haircut, a shampoo, and a shave, please. In other words, the works.
Ah, don't worry. That's just what are you going to get?
I'm rather particular about the way I look. You're certain you know your business?
Oh, sure. Don't worry about a thing, amico mio. I've been cutting hair every day for 20 years. And on a Domenica, after Sunday, just to keep in a practice, I cut all of the neighbors' hedges. Lean it back, please. Lean it back.
All right, then. And when you're through, you might trim my mustache, please.
Just leave it to me. I trim it fine. I got some nice stuff left over from a Christmas.
What was that?
Lean it back. I give you the haircut. Come on. Hey, how's that? Nice, huh?
What? You made the left side much too short.
Ah, don't worry. We snip some off of the right. There.
Yeah, but now the right side is shorter than the left.
Okay, we'll work some more on the left. So, how's that?
Well, now the left side is shorter again.
Hey, what kind of head you got it there? Must be very uneven.
Well, it wasn't uneven before you started.
Well, wait, I fixed him up.
All right.
Now the same on both sides, a nice and a bare.
Why, what have you done? I've got no hair at all on the sides and a clump of it sticking up in the middle.
Yeah, you look like the Navajo.
What am I supposed to do now? Sell blankets?
Oh, don't worry, I fixed them. There. Whoops, still uneven.
How can it be? There isn't a hair left on my head.
No, but I cut off one eyebrow.
Why?
Oh, wait, I'll fix it. That's all right. There, even again. Okay, next, please.
You.
Yeah, that's too bad. What would it be?
Exhibit.
Why, your exhibit.
My name isn't Dunning. It's Sidney Newhouse. I'm a traveling salesman.
Sidney Newhouse? A traveling salesman?
Yes, what about it?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to meet you. You heard any good stories lately? So then the only thing I could do was to beat it before Roy got back. I'm afraid I failed, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, dear.
I guess we're sunk.
Well, as far as I can see, there's only one way to keep Dunning from getting a look at that painting. We're going to steal it from the exhibit.
Steal it? Well, wouldn't that be stealing? I'm certain it would.
I'm only taking what belongs to me, Dennis.
Well, yeah, but how are you going to do it? Mr. Stark, the chairman of the exhibit, is there all the time.
Well, that's where you come in, my boy. You're going to distract her attention.
Me? How?
By flirting with her.
Mr. Anderson, your mezzanine has fallen downstairs.
You can do it. You're always imitating movie stars. Now, pick out some great lover of the screen and go to work on her.
Well, there is one who always gets Rosette. After all, what can we lose? Just our health and our liberty.
Well, there she is, Dennis. Now, do you think you can keep her occupied while I snatch the painting?
I hope so. This is one screen lover who's never missed before anyway.
Good. I'll hide here in the archway until you've made your conquest. Oh, here she comes.
Oh, is there something I can do for you, young man? It's after hours, you know.
Hello, short, gray, and beautiful.
I beg your pardon.
It's just about cocktail time, Dreamboat. What say we drift down to the beer parlor and blast it and schlitz it a while?
Why, we haven't even been introduced yet.
I'm a man and you're a woman, kiddo. That's the stuff couples are made of.
But this is so sudden.
I can't help it, love bundle. You're the type that drives men wild.
Oh, my late husband always used to say that.
Not in that tone of voice, I'll bet.
Well, no. Oh, you are kind of cute.
I thought you'd begin to see things my way.
You have nice eyes and such lovely curly hair. And a darling dimple.
You missed the lips, baby. Get a load of the lower one.
Oh, my, I'm afraid you're just too much for me.
You said it, kiddo, and my motto is, if you can't fight 'em, join 'em.
Aren't you going to ask me for a kiss?
Why, I hadn't planned to go into the matter that deeply.
Oh, come on, brown eyes. Kiss me.
Well, all right, close your eyes and tilt your head back.
Dennis, everything's okay.
Well, my eyes are closed and my head is tilted, dear boy.
Okay, hold it. I'll be back in half an hour. Whee! Boy, that was close. Did you get it, Mr. Anderson?
It's right here under my coat.
Good. Now we're in the... Hey, wait a minute.
Huh?
A horrible thought just struck me. Won't the police investigate this?
Sure they will. That's part of my plan.
Say, that's pretty clever. How long do you think we'll be in for?
Well, you don't understand my scheme. We're going to plant this in Harlan Dunning's room at the Willoughbys.
Plant it? But he can prove to the cops he didn't take it.
Not if we're the cops.
Huh?
All we have to do is say that we're the police and accuse him of the theft.
Yeah?
Then we'll tell him that if he won't reveal that it's not a real Dunning, we'll return the picture and say nothing about it.
Wow!
Isn't that some idea?
Boy, when your brain gets revved up, your whole head spins, doesn't it? Gee, Mr. Anderson, we're sure in luck. Mrs. Willoughby is still out shopping, and Mr. Willoughby hasn't come home from the store yet.
It's about time we got a break. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Open up in the name of the law! Open up, I say!
Yeah, up!
What's going on out here?
Don't make a move, Dunning. I've got you covered.
Yeah, covered.
Okay, Anderson. Whisk him.
Whisk him?
Risk him?
Don't you mean frisk him?
Oh, that's it.
Gentlemen, may I be so bold as to inquire what this is all about?
Cut it out, Dunning. Come on, where'd you hide the stuff, the loot, the swag?
Yeah, where'd you...
I'm afraid I haven't the faintest idea what you mean.
Oh, so you won't talk, huh?
I'd rather not. Much more fun listening.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll beat it out of you. Herbie, where's your Billy?
Why, Billy has it.
Well, we'll get out the rubber hose. How do you want it, Dunning? With the nozzle on or off?
Just a fine spray, if you please.
You may not know it, Dunning, but you're in trouble.
Yes,
we're detectives specializing in investigating theft.
Yeah, we're from the Homicide Bureau.
Come clean, Dunning. Where's the painting?
What painting?
The one you stole from Weaverville Museum.
Are you out of your mind?
He isn't going to talk, Sarge. We better search the room.
Right, Corporal.
Lieutenant.
Oh, sorry. You take the closets and bureau drawers. I'll go through his wallet.
You put your hands on my things, gentlemen, and you'll regret it the rest of your lives. Now, that's a warning.
Are you threatening us, cops?
You're no more cops than I am. Now, what's your game?
See here, you.
No use, Mr. Anderson. He knows we're not cops.
But how could he tell?
I don't know. Maybe it's our high arches. Better show him the painting, Mr. Anderson.
Well, all right. Here.
What? Oh, I say, that's got my name on it.
Yes, sir, but we know you didn't really paint it.
I should say I didn't. This is a...
Huh?
Nothing. What do you want?
Well, Mr. Anderson gave this picture to his wife 20 years ago, and she's always thought it was a Dunning original. And now with the exhibit and you being here in person...
She'd find out the truth and be unhappy.
Yes, sir. In a pretty bloody sort of way.
I see. Well, gentlemen, how would you like me to trade you a real Dunning original for this picture of yours?
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh, Mr. Dunning, would you?
Oh, why not? After all, you're on the spot. Glad to help you.
Oh, bless you,
Bless
sir.
you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yes. Now, just sign this sales form right here, and we'll make it all fine and legal.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
There you are.
Yeah. And here is one of my paintings. It's a still life. I call it Flute and Liverwurst at Dusk.
Gee, it's a beauty, too. Thanks a million, Mr. Dunning.
Not at all. But perhaps you'd be interested in hearing just why I was kind enough to make this little exchange with you.
Why, yes, sir, we would.
Very well. I shall tell you.
You mean it wasn't a Dunning original I had hanging in the parlor all these years?
That's right, Poopsie. Now you know the whole story of how I bought it from that Frenchman in Greenwich Village.
And you actually traded it to Mr. Dunning for one of his genuine paintings?
Yes, ma'am. This is it right here.
Yes. Very pretty, probably. You say it's called Flute and Liverwurst at Dusk?
That's right. The flute is the one with the holes.
Well, anyway, it's an original Dunning, and that's all that matters. So all's well that ends well.
Yeah, that's true, little gumdrop.
There's just one more little thing. I don't suppose you'd even care about it one way or the other.
What's that, Dennis?
The reason Mr. Dunning traded his picture for yours.
Oh, what was the reason?
Well, as I say, I don't suppose it matters. But the picture you had hanging in your parlor was an original Picasso worth $10,000.
Oh, no!
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing Serenade of the Bells. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo, hair bright, washed right, easy to do and dress right, hair that's soft and silky from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new three-way loveliness. Fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft and easy to manage. Be a dream girl, a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
With Charles Dant and the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing the popular ballad, Serenade of the Bells.
In the sleepy town of San Juanito, there's a story that a padre tells of a gay senor and senorita and the serenade of the bells. Seems they asked the padre for permission to be married early in the spring, but their folks had made just one condition, that the mission bells had to ring. Everyone knew the bells were broken and hadn't sounded for a long, long time. Then one night the village was astounded, for the bells began to chime. Still the bells are broken, goes the story. But if in your heart a true love dwells, for you in all their glory. That's the serenade of the bells. Everyone knew the bells were broken and hadn't sounded for a long, long time. Then one night the village was astounded, for the bells began to chime. Still the bells are broken, goes the story. But if in your heart a true love dwells, they will ring for you in all their glory. That's the serenade of the bells. The serenade of the
Doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. For the Palmolive plan was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, regardless of age, type of skin, or previous beauty care, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Voice of America presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman.
Good evening, this is Ronald Colman.
And Benita Colman.
Inviting you to join us again on the campus of Ivy College.
And now, The Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today.
Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Dr. William Todd Hunter Hall, president of Ivy, has more than ordinary fortitude and forbearance. But even he has moments when he gives way under the many disturbances inevitably encountered in any given day. At the moment, he appears to be quarreling with a small magazine, turning the pages with more than usual vigor and vehemence, a fact which is noted by his noteworthy wife, Victoria, who says,
Are you in a pet?
Yes, dear. And the juxtaposition of the two words is singularly apt. By one pet, I assume you mean a person specially cherished.
Why do as I said in my marriage ceremony. To you, that is.
Thank you, dear. And if by the other pet you mean a fit of peevishness, yes, I am particularly petulant. And the provocation is patent.
Patent provocation. Yeah. Shall I open another can of peas?
Yes, you'd better, because I have a parcel of pertinent, peevish, and pungent paragraphs to present. About publishers who plague the public with protruding pages in their pesky periodicals.
Can you do that with any letter of the alphabet? Go ahead, try it with X.
No. No, there are limits to my alliterative talent. But look at this little magazine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, bathing girl on the cover. Clever idea. Wonder who thought that up.
Yes, the length to which publications will go to find excuses for bathing suit covers.
I always wondered why they call them pin-up girls. And where could they put a pin? What are you complaining about?
Well, suppose I wish to read the advertised article on page 12.
Mm-hmm.
I open the magazine, and what happens? With fiendish alacrity, it leaps open to page 6, exposing a cardboard insert suggesting that I take a 6-month trial subscription.
Well, why don't you tear it out?
All right. There, it's torn out. Now, I try again to turn to page 12.
Yes.
This time, the magazine automatically springs open at page 104, and the other half of the cardboard insert thrusts itself at me.
Well, after this, I'll get to the magazines first and tear out the inserts myself.
Oh, my dear, I wouldn't. Such small tribulations are good for me. They build character.
Oh, well, darling, if your character hasn't been completely built, furnished, and rented by this time, I don't know.
Now today is officially started. I'll get it. Hello, Dr. Hall speaking. Spencer? Thomas Spencer? Well, I'll be busy until sometime late this afternoon. What about tomorrow? Oh, well, if it's really urgent, come over about 4:30 then. Not at all. Goodbye. Vicky, do you know a student named Thomas Spencer?
Thomas Spencer? No.
Well, according to him, he knows I'm busy, but he has to see me.
Naturally. A matter of life and death.
Oh, he didn't say it, but that was the implication. Now, where was I?
When?
Well, I must have been saying something. I usually am, given a 3-second break in anyone's conversation.
Well, now, let me think. Oh, yes. Well, during your second waffle at breakfast, you said something about something being yummy. Well, I think you said yummy.
I said yummy. William T. Hall, Ph.D., LL.D., said yummy. Are you sure it was yummy?
No, it could have been dummy or tummy or mummy.
Oh, mummy. Yes, of course, mummy.
Well, of course, what, Pappy?
No. Not mummy in the maternal sense, mummy in the Egyptological sense. Ours is missing.
Our mummy? I didn't even know we had one. I must go through that back closet again someday and see what's going on there.
No, darling, I'll explain. Ivy's museum has, or had, a replica of a mummy. Queen Hatshepsut of Egypt's 18th dynasty.
And from the looks of them, most of them did.
Did what?
Dynasty.
Oh, please. No, my dear, de mortuis nil nisi facetious.
Oh.
Anyway, our mummy has disappeared. I doubt if it was mislaid because Queen Hatshepsut was a large girl.
Well, how about the fearless Officer Grogan? Has he broken out the bloodhounds? Or is it too late for bloodhounds when you're 3,000 years old?
Well, Grogan agrees with me that it's probably a student prank. He thinks that Hatshepsut will be lined up with the others at graduation to receive a diploma.
Let's see, alphabetically then she'd be standing between Bones Harvey and Pookie Hauser. That narrows it down, doesn't it? At least the old girl will graduate mummy cum laude.
Yes, and probably be elected the girl most likely not to talk while dancing.
Do you know, Dolly, I sort of admire the nerve of the undergraduates. The idea of treating a mummy just for the fun of it.
Well, I admire their energy and even impudence up to a point. But my appreciation ends with such moronic activities as dropping water-filled paper bags on the heads of passers-by.
William, Tommy Spencer's here to see you.
Ah, yes. How do you do? Come in and sit down, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
I must commend your punctuality. It's exactly 4:30. But you sounded very anxious to see me.
Yes, sir, I was.
Well, if you want me to disappear while you discuss this with Dr. Hall, Tommy, I have a new jar of vanishing cream upstairs I can use.
Oh, no, ma'am.
I don't seem to recall, Tommy. Well, what year are you in?
Freshman, sir.
I see, a freshman. Well, did your faculty advisor suggest you come to me with your problem?
No, sir. It was my own idea.
Well, it's nice to finally have an opportunity to meet you, even though it took a problem to bring you here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Problem. Ah, yes. Well, Tommy?
I beg your pardon?
You do have a problem, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, well, we'll leave that for the moment. Tell me, is Ivy living up to your expectations?
Oh, sure, Ivy's fine.
Oh, only there's so much work piled on your head that you're wondering if you'll ever make the grade and get to be a sophomore. Is that it?
Oh, I think my grades are all right.
Oh, they're all right, are they?
What are you majoring in?
Public speaking.
I'm sorry, we do not have a larger public presence. What is your minor?
English, sir.
Well, it's nice to know English if you're going to do any public speaking. You don't have to use colored slides.
Do you intend to specialize in any particular period?
Not that I know of, sir.
Naturally. But the first year is more or less exploratory. In my own case, I thought I'd be most interested in the history of the English novel. But much to my surprise, I found a powerful attraction for Chaucer.
Oh, well, you find Chaucer amusing too, Tommy, huh?
No, ma'am. I don't know Chaucer yet.
Well, when you do, I'm sure you'll find him as rewarding as I did. He is as modern as any current bestseller. In fact, the Pilgrims of Canterbury are as alive today as they were during the fort... Yes, but of course you didn't come here to talk about Chaucer, did you?
No, sir. I didn't.
Yes. Well, to come back to you, Tommy, tell us some more about yourself. Are you living with your family here at Ivy, or are you from out of town?
Oh, I'm from out of town.
Well, it may seem harder that way at first, breaking our old ties and things like that.
Yes, breaking away and being on one's own is an inevitable part of everyone's education, Tommy. But the process of adjustment is never easy, is it?
I guess not, sir.
It's a matter of learning how to accommodate oneself to a new environment and to make independent decisions.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess I'd better go now and... Thanks a lot.
For what?
For seeing me.
Well, are you sure there isn't something more you wanted to talk about, or have we covered the subject thoroughly enough?
Yes, sir, we have.
Well, it's been very nice to meet you, Tommy. I hope you'll drop by again soon for another chat.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Goodbye, Dr. Helen.
Goodbye.
Thanks for everything.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Tommy.
Well, what was that?
Well, that, my darling, was a freshman to whom the ordinary rules of human logic do not apply too closely. To think of him as a public speaker opens up new vistas of quiet oratory.
He's probably heard the old saying, better keep quiet and be thought a fool than start talking and prove it. But do you suppose he was so nervous he just couldn't find words?
Well, he may have found them, but he obviously decided against using them. I think I'm going to turn in, Ricky.
Oh, darling. I'll finish my book in bed. Lay down should put me right to sleep. Incidentally, what a wonderful publishing idea. The Yawn of the Month Club. Do you want a sandwich or something?
No, dear. I had an excellent dinner. No, I couldn't touch a thing.
There's some nice cold ham.
Oh, no. I really couldn't, dear. Oh, no.
Some cold roast chicken, too.
No. There is? Ham and chicken, eh? Well, after all, that'd make a splendid sandwich. Just a tiny one, of course, you know. Perhaps just a sliver of cheese. And not too much pickle. Oh, and we mustn't forget the mayonnaise, must we, dear? Now, how about...
There's half a cold cherry pie, too.
Is there really? Well, perhaps I might have...
Oh, I'm sorry, Dagwood, old boy. Your tiny little 4-pound sandwich will have to wait. I wonder who this could be.
I don't know, but let's get rid of him quickly. I'm starving. Stay here. I'll find out.
No, I'm coming with you, me being the curious type. Besides, I can discourage whoever it is.
Oh. Nobody to discourage.
Well, that's funny. It's not Halloween, so...
Well, it may not be Halloween, but we do have an unbidden guest. Or is it Ghost?
Where?
Standing up right over there.
Where? Oh! What's that?
It's nobody, just Queen Hatshepsut all wrapped up in her sarcophagus.
You mean Mommy's come home?
Just wait a minute. There's a note attached to her. Let me get back on the light here. Vicky, listen to this. Dr. Hall, I got her out all right, but I can't get her back in. Help.
America is bringing you this rebroadcast presentation of The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
And now to return to The Halls of Ivy. It's the next morning, and Dr. and Mrs. Hall are discussing the problem of the stolen mummy which was left on their doorstep the night before.
Well, darling, I don't mind your keeping Hatshepsut here for a couple of days if you think we can spare Louisa. She's locked herself up in her room and she won't come out.
But, Vicky, didn't you explain that this wasn't a real mummy, just a facsimile?
Unfortunately, I used that very word, facsimile. And Louisa said, I don't care how it's facsimile, it scares me half to death.
Now, Vicky, she didn't.
Well, you asked her. Ask her yourself. Through the keyhole. I don't think she'll open the door. But tell me, why are we keeping the mummy? Not that she wouldn't be the neatest weekend guest we've ever had.
Well, this is in the nature of a delaying action. You see, Vicky, if I were to comply with this desperate plea for help and return Hatshepsut now, the incident would be closed and quickly forgotten. But that might be an invitation for repetition. And one mummy on my doorstep is quite enough.
Toddy, I just had a thought. Do you remember that boy who was here to see you yesterday?
Oh, Tommy Spencer, yes.
Yes, well, maybe that's what he came for. Maybe he had some information. Maybe he knew who took the money and at the last minute decided not to tackle. Maybe he...
Maybe that's maybe now. Don't get up, Vicky. Louisa will answer it.
Yeah, not today, she won't. I'll get it myself.
Perhaps I'd better have a talk with Louisa, even if it's only...
Mrs. Hall? Yes?
I'm Lynn Gordon.
Oh, yes. I remember you, Lynn. You had a part in the freshman play, didn't you?
Well, a very small one. Mrs. Hall, I wonder, is there a chance that Dr. Hall could see me?
Oh, I think so. I'll use my influence. Come on in.
Thank you. I'll just stay a moment.
William, this is Lynn Gordon, one of our talented freshmen.
Hello, Miss Gordon. Come in. Sit down.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. If you're busy, I can come back later, but it's about the mummy.
Oh, well, in that case, Miss Gordon, we have plenty of time. What are a few minutes more to a mummy?
Don't tell me you took it, Lynn.
Oh, no, Mrs. Hall. But
you know who did?
Yes, sir, I do. But unless you insist, Dr. Hall, I'd rather not tell you the name. I hate tale-bearing.
Oh, this is not an inquisition, Miss Gordon. You voluntarily came here to tell me something, so why don't you just tell me what you came here to tell me?
Well, Dr. Hall, I know he's bound to get caught sooner or later, and I wanted to tell you some things about him so you won't be too harsh with him.
And is he aware of your sympathy and understanding?
Oh, no, Mrs. Hall. We're not close friends. I've spoken to him lots of times, but usually he just says yes and no and walks away, almost like he was scared.
He's not the type to go around plundering museums,
Well, that's just it. That's why I was so shocked when I saw him lugging that big box up the steps to his dorm. I just couldn't believe it. Dr. Hall, something's happened to that boy. Well, he's been as quiet as a mouse all year. That is, until the last few days. And suddenly he started doing the strangest things.
Oh, I don't know what's so strange about stealing a mummy. It's perfectly normal student conduct.
Well, it's not normal for him. He's a good student, but the silent kind. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, I think I do. As a matter of fact, I was somewhat quiet myself as a student. Wrote fairly good papers. I don't know, it seemed to lose my tongue when called upon to speak in class. I was known as William the Silent.
A likely story, I must say.
But, Lynn, what is so strange about this young man's being quiet?
Well, no, he isn't. The other day when our history professor asked him a question about the French Revolution, he suddenly jumped up and gave a 10-minute speech, all in French.
C'est formidable.
And then, well, last Saturday, there was a big gang in the malt shop, and all of a sudden he got up on a stool and said the drinks were on him. Well, he paid for everybody in the place. When we tried to thank him, he ducked out.
I like him better by the minute. He's eccentric in the right places.
If you consider our museum one of the right places.
Well, I know it sounds like nonsense.
Yes, but with a bit of sense in it, perhaps. A boy who has apparently been under constraint all the year suddenly bursts into flower, so to speak.
Yes, and it's too bad Blossom Boy doesn't know what a good friend he has in you, Lynn.
Oh, but Mrs. Hall, Tommy doesn't... Oh, dear, now I've done it.
Oh, you haven't done anything but good, Lynn. And don't worry about revealing your friend's identity. As a matter of fact, Tommy Spencer came to see us yesterday.
He did?
Yes, and we're going to invite him for another visit. And this time I think he'll talk. We'll make college history by giving him a third degree before he has the first two.
Well, sit down, Tommy.
I believe you've met our friend over there, Tommy, Queen Hatshepsut, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
And am I correct in assuming that the problem you came to discuss with me yesterday had some connection with this mummy?
Yes, sir.
And in the course of our rather one-sided conversation, did you decide that instead of discussing the matter, it would be simpler just to leave the whole thing in my lap?
Well, Dr. Hall, I didn't think...
No, Tommy, you didn't think. Or you wouldn't have taken the mummy in the first place.
Oh, but I thought that all out.
Well, I bet it took some smart thinking to work out this mummy napping.
Yes, you displayed some ingenuity in walking out of the Ivy Museum with a sarcophagus up your sleeve. Wasn't there a watchman on duty?
Yes, sir. But he was busy keeping an eye on things that sensible people might steal.
Well, I won't pry into your professional secrets, Tommy, but could you tell us why you took it?
Well, it's kind of involved. I guess it began 3 or 4 weeks ago, during the rushing season.
Has this something to do with your being a fraternity pledge?
No, sir. It has something to do with my not being a fraternity pledge. I mean, nobody asked me. And when I saw all the terrific things they made the pledges do, I figured the reason nobody asked me was because, well, nobody figured I could do them.
Oh, of course you could.
Thank you. So I looked around to find something that would prove to the fellows that I could. And I did. Only when I got that darned Egyptian coffin into my room and took a good look at it, it didn't seem to be so great after all. And then I wanted to take it back, only that wasn't so easy because now everybody was looking for it.
Oh, yes, you were really in a spot.
Yes, ma'am. What's the matter with me, Dr. Hall? Why'd I do a thing like that?
Well, Tommy, you've given us an answer yourself, but I imagine there's more to it than that.
Yes, sir.
You wanted to be part of things on the campus to get attention, didn't you?
I guess so.
There's nothing wrong with that, Tommy. Except that you picked an odd way to go about it. And being a quiet boy, or at least reserved by nature, you stored up so much to say and do that the reservoir suddenly burst.
Your safety valve was tied down all this time and the spring broke.
Look where it got me.
Tommy, a great many people confuse attention with admiration, conspicuousness with success. They think a stunt is an achievement, and misbehavior a declaration of independence.
Yes, I think I see. Dr. Hall, I think you're right, sir.
Well, thank you, Tommy.
Oh, no. Thank you, Dr. Hall. Well, it's getting kind of late, and I guess I'd better...
Just a minute. If you're going, I'd like you to escort a lady home on your way.
Certainly, sir.
Yeah, she's a real campus queen, Tommy. Hatshepsut.
Oh, her? I mean, it?
Yes, you will have the privilege of conveying Queen Hatshepsut and her sarcophagus back to the Ivy Museum.
Now? In broad daylight?
Well, as your good friend and mine Shakespeare said, foolery, sir, does walk about the orb like the sun. It shines everywhere.
But with everybody looking at me? Dr. Hall, I'll never make it. He'll kill me. And then there's Logan the cop. He'll shoot me on sight.
Oh, now, I'm sure Dr. Hall will give you a safe conduct pass, Tommy.
Well, all right, but look, suppose somebody asked me what I mean, how do I explain?
You don't. Sir, as long as you have embarked upon a career of personal exploitation, Tommy, you might as well use the well-tried public relations method of mystery. Exploitation uses the technique of the floating iceberg. 8/9 of it is underwater. The public sees only the visible 9th.
Yes, sir, but what if...
So you explain nothing to anybody. Just smile enigmatically and shake your head. Mona Lisa in gray slacks.
See, Tommy? Nobody will know you stole the money, and they might even give you credit for clever detective work in finding it. You'll be a big man on campus, a BMOC.
Just as Queen Hatshepsut was a big girl BC.
Golly, this is a new idea to me, sir. If I don't explain, I get talked about for something I'm not doing. You'll think I'm a nut.
Well, pay no attention to the old claim that it's the squeaking wheel that gets the grease. Just remember that it's the well-oiled machine that gets where it's going. And the difference between the squeaky wheel and the well-oiled machine is simply that when care of the axle is exercised beforehand, it won't be necessary to remove the nut.
Yes, sir.
Now, here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colgan.
Good night, everyone.
Good night from all of us.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll be seeing you next week at the same time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colgan. Connie Spencer was played by Joseph Carbo, and Lynn was Sammy Hill. Tonight's script was written by Barbara and Milton Merlin and Don Quinn. Music composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Oh, we love the halls of ivy that surround us here today.
This production of the Halls of Ivy was broadcast with an actual audience present in the studio.
We meet far, far to the hallowed halls of ivy. Every voice will bid farewell, and children off in twilight like the old
The Ford Dealers of America present The Fred Allen Show. The Fred Allen Show with Fred's guest, Henry Morgan, Fulton Hoffa, Minerva Pius, Peter Donald, Parker Fenley, the DeMarco sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And this is Kenny Delmar speaking for your Ford dealer. Have you been around to his showroom yet to see his exciting beauty parade of new Fords? At your Ford dealers, you can get inside this great new car and have a good, thorough look at its luxurious interior. You can get all the inside story on the new midship ride, hydrocoil and Paraflex springs, equipoise power, and magic action brakes. Then you'll go for the good news about the new Ford savings of gas and oil. Savings up to 10%. Aye, man, that's thrift. That's really squeezing the pennies. Tomorrow at your Ford dealers, find out all about the new Ford. Well, it's Sunday night again, and here's Fred Allen driving up in his 49 Ford to keep his weekly date at the corner of Main Street. As Fred steps out of his Ford, he hears a voice say,
Mr. Allen!
Say, Swartman, kitty girl. Well, tell me, wait till I get the door locked here. Tell me, Portman, what What have you been up to since I saw you last Sunday?
Mama took me to the opera opening.
Oh, really? I saw pictures of all of the society women at the Met openings, with their furs and their jewelry.
One woman had a diamond so heavy, she couldn't wear it.
No.
She had taxis on the diamond and was dragging it behind her.
I saw a picture. Some dowager was wearing a silver fox Bal McCann, and her compact was the kneecap of a mink. All fuzz on the top of it. The mink is noted for the fuzz on its kneecap.
Mama said there was so much fur at the opera that two bears were sitting in the balcony and nobody noticed them.
Two real bears?
Well, nobody knew they were real bears until it got hot in the balcony.
And what happened?
An usher tried to help one of the bears take her coat off.
Oh, I see. I saw that bear later. It was using the usher's arm for a back scratcher. Well, tell me what else is new, Portland?
England is having its worst fog in years.
Oh, say, I wonder why the fog is so bad in England.
Well, Mama says it's because there's so much dew on the deck.
Dew on the deck. That does it. I guess I'll buy a paper and start back for home, Portland.
Can I come with you?
Oh, sure. Let's take a walk down Main Street.
All right.
Come on.
What does the paper say?
Hey, here's an ad. Fire sale.
That's silly. Who would want to buy a fire?
Well, you can't tell. Somebody may have some old water left in a hose and want to get rid of it. Hey, here's an item. Look at this. The Labor Department says that it isn't true that wives spend more money for clothes than husbands. Husbands spend more for clothes than wives.
Well, most people think that women spend more than men.
Well, it seems to be a difference of opinion here, Portland, and there's only one way to find out. Let's ask some people now as we walk along Main Street. Now, this man coming along with the herringbone briefcase. Pardon me, sir.
Claghorn's the name, son. Senator Claghorn, that is. See me at my office, son. I don't pass out free seeds on the street.
Senator.
Yeah.
Senator, you remember me, Fred Allen?
Oh, yeah. As a rule, I never forget a face. With yours, I was just lucky.
Now, look, Senator.
Well, I've been busier than an octopus trying to let go of a piece of fly paper, son.
You've been busy?
Yeah, I'm working on the president's health plan.
Oh, the president has a plan to improve the nation's health?
I'm all for it, son. Show me a healthy nation, and I'll show you a nation that ain't sick.
Fine.
You can quote me on that.
Well,
son, last year I was on a committee. We raised $80,000 for research in lumbago.
Lumbago?
Yeah, we built a big laboratory.
Yes.
We got a rat. Shaved all the hair off its back.
Yes.
On a bitter cold day, we put that rat out in the rain with no umbrella.
Yeah.
The rat got lumbago.
I see.
50 doctors and 50 chemists started studying the rat, working day and night.
Yes.
Finally, they produced the lumbago serum.
Well, is the serum a success?
It won't cure people.
No.
But if you know a rat who's suffering from lumbago, son, you send that rat to me.
I'll scare up a few rats for you tomorrow, Senator. Tell me now about our question tonight, Senator. Do you think that men spend more money for clothes than women?
I know they do. We started that movement in the South. When I think of cutting down on women's clothing, I think of that great name Lee.
Robert E. Lee?
Gypsy Rose Lee. Go on, that is.
Main Street sure looks nice tonight, Portland, doesn't it?
Did you see this sign in the croppetous window?
The picture of the two bare feet?
Uh-huh. It says, which twin has the toenail?
Well, I guess that's the end of that joke for this time. There's nothing more you can do with the Tony after that. Say, look who's leaning against the lamppost, Portland.
Titus Moody.
Hi, Mr. Moody. Howdy, Bob. Well, Mr. Moody, you're looking well.
I'm glad to hear it.
You didn't know?
I broke my mirror late last summer.
Oh.
I ain't seen myself since Labor Day.
Well, you're looking well.
I'm glad and pleased to hear it.
Well, that's fine. Tell me, Mr. Moody, do you think women spend more on their clothes than men do?
Why, my wife, Miss Moody, don't.
Mrs. Moody is conservative?
Miss Moody is tighter than a small boy's hide after a turkey dinner.
She's stingy, eh?
Miss Moody takes after her father.
Oh.
At the wedding, her father wouldn't give the bride away.
How did you get her?
I'm renting Miss Moody at so much for the month.
That must have been some wedding.
Oh, it was. The bride had to have something old and something new, something borrowed and something blue.
What did she get?
Well, the something old was her mother.
Yeah.
Something new was her 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
Something borrowed was the front tire for the car.
And something blue?
The front tire blew as we was leaving the church.
And your wife hasn't bought any new clothes?
Not since the wedding.
Oh.
Miss Moody's been wearing a wedding dress for 40 years.
God.
But the other morning she says, Moody, she says, I'm buying a new Lindsay Woolsey Mother Hubbard. I says, after 40 years, Verbena Moody, I says, you're taking off your wedding dress?
And?
She says, yes, Moody, the honeymoon is over. So long.
Well, come on, Portland, let's start.
Look who's coming.
Oh, Mrs. Nussbaum.
So who is Fleisching calling the name? Oh, it's you.
Yes, Mrs. Nussbaum. You look mad.
I'm boiling. Any minute I'm flying off the candle.
What's wrong?
Well, walking down Main Street, I'm seeing on Town Hall a sign, Inside Jam Session.
Inside Jam Session?
Thinking it is a food show with jellies and jams, I'm buying a ticket.
And when you got inside?
Is playing Bebopper, a band Izzy Gillespie.
Oh, Izzy? What is bebop? What is that?
Oh, this is mixing boogie woogie with chive.
With chive. Well, tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, about our question. Do you think women spend more for their clothes than men?
Sometimes, to buying his wife fancy garments, her husband is overdoing it.
Oh, you know of an instance?
Mrs. Karesh Berkovitz.
Yeah.
Without telling her husband, she's buying a platinum mink coat double-breasted. Mr. Berkovitz, without telling his wife, is losing all his money in the stock market.
Oh.
What to do?
What to do indeed.
To paying for Mrs. Berkowitz's mink coat, there is no money except her husband's life insurance.
And to get the life insurance money?
Mr. Berkowitz is overdoing it.
How?
To getting double indemnity.
Yes?
He's dropping dead twice, thank you.
Main Street with all these characters, Portland, looks like a comic supplement come to life.
You haven't found out about the clothing question, have you?
No, I haven't. Well, let's try this little man with the pea green beanie coming along. Pardon me, sir. Hey, Jack Cassidy.
Don't let me lean on you, boy. I just had a shock that would scare the cape off of Superman.
What? What happened?
Well, you see, I stopped in at Fogarty's fish market to buy a breast of shrimp for dinner.
What?
When I got home with the breast of shrimp,
yes,
I felt something crawling around inside me turtleneck sweater.
Something crawling around?
Sure, I thought the worst got out of me watch and was on the loose.
Yes.
Well, I looked down me turtleneck, and there it was.
What?
A giant crab.
A giant crab? And it's still in there?
It is. I got my sweater full of cold seaweed to keep the crab fresh till Friday.
No wonder you're shaking, Ajax. But tell me, do you think men or women spend more for their clothes?
Me boy, a man can spend more than a woman if he goes to extremes.
Extremes,
But then you take Lindsay Monaghan.
Yeah?
The time Lindsay won the Irish sweepstakes,
He moved to Park Avenue in a sunken duplex.
Oh, he did.
Rinty bought so many suits of clothes. The first year he spent $20,000 for mothballs alone. Now, Rinty had a morning suit for morning.
Yeah.
A business suit for business.
Yeah.
A walking suit for walking.
He had a suit for every occasion.
One day he had a Charlie horse. Rinty appeared in a riding habit.
Hey, Rinty was overdoing it.
The next thing I heard Rinty was doing, he was doing 30 days.
On account of his clothes?
He joined the union.
And?
They caught Rinty strutting down Park Avenue wearing a high hat and a union suit. Goodbye to you.
Goodbye. Well, come on, Portland. Portland, let's go.
Where do I look in this music store?
In the music store? Say, what's that sheet music, that song in the window there?
Buttons and Bows. It's number 1 on the hit parade.
Oh, Buttons. Say, you know, last night I dreamed that Jack Eigen was playing a record. It was Al Goodman and his orchestra and the 5 DeMarco sisters doing Buttons and Bows. And you know something, Portland? It sounded like this.
And the long one I have chosen. Let's go where I'll keep on wearing those frills and flowers and buttons and gold and lace and buttons and bows. Don't bury me in this prairie, take me where the seamen grow. Let's move down to some big town where it all buttons, gals, buttons, cutters, buttons, clothes, and I'll stand down in buttons and buskin or just that I won't find. But I love you longer, stronger, where your friends don't show the guy. My boots are now so much more fun than the Texas hurts my toes. Leave us for moose when gals keep using those pills. That's that. That's yours. And I'm on yours in buttons and bows. Buttons and bows. Where women are women and high silk hose and peekaboo clothes and fresh perfume that rocks the room and a year for the bee. All year in buttons and bows.
Portland, look, there's Kenny Delmont standing on the corner.
He's talking to somebody, but nobody's there.
Hey, it looks as though he's giving himself an argument. Say, Kenny may start a fight with himself. I'm going over and see what's wrong.
Now, listen, you, it stands to reason that nobody can beat the Ford dealer at taking care of your Ford. His mechanics work on Fords hour after hour, day after day, week after week.
Kenny.
Now, I'll be with you in a minute, Fred. Now, get this straight. The Ford dealer can give you genuine Ford parts. And he uses factory-approved methods and special Ford equipment. Think what that means.
Kenny.
Please, Fred, don't interrupt. Listen, brother, you can't deny that the Ford dealer's special methods and equipment save time and labor costs. When you want a real service job, always bring your Ford back home to your Ford dealer.
Say, Kenny.
Okay, Fred, what can I do for you?
Well, look, Kenny, it's none of my business, but to whom are you talking?
Oh, nobody, Fred. I was just rehearsing.
Rehearsing?
Someday, someplace, I may meet a man who hasn't heard about Ford service. I want to be ready for him.
Well, do you really think that your talk was convincing?
Convincing? I just heard myself. I've got to get going.
Where?
To my Ford dealers. I'm taking my Ford back home for service. So long, Fred.
So long, Kenny. Say, Porter, have you seen this new store on Main Street?
New store?
On the other corner, Pike's Pet Shop.
I wonder if Mr. Pike has a Pekingese.
Why?
We can go in and see Pike's Peak.
Portland, that sounds like a joke you'd find in a letter from Mary Livingston's mother. Say, it's a swell night tonight. Let's keep walking for a little while.
Well, I can't. I have to go and buy Mama a Christmas present.
Oh, well, the 5 and 10 is just across the street, Portland. I'll see you later.
Good night.
Good night. Well, I think I'll walk along a little farther. All the stores are decorated for Christmas. Santa Clauses are out on the street corners ringing their bells. I think I'll give this old Santa Claus a quarter. Here you are, Santa Claus.
Thank you, sir, and a Merry Christmas.
Hey, you're not Santa Claus. You're Henry Morgan. Henry, what are you doing with that red suit and white beard playing Santa Claus?
Well, I've been slightly out of work, Fred.
Yeah.
This is the only job I could get.
Well, there's no sign on your chimney, Henry. Are you with the Salvation Army?
No.
The Volunteers of America?
No.
Well, for whom are you collecting money?
Morgan Foundation.
Well, just what is the Morgan Foundation?
The Morgan Foundation is a small charitable venture dedicated to help Morgan circumvent malnutrition.
Oh.
The fact that I happen to be Morgan is purely coincidental and should not detract from the aims of this worthy organization.
But, Henry, you and that dirty ermine, a part-time Kris Kringle.
Oh, I'm doing very well, Fred. I got a capital gains deal with this chimney outfit here.
Oh, have you? Going over to the other side, eh? But, Henry, is this the first time you've worked since I saw you last fall?
No, I've had other jobs, Fred.
Oh, really? What other jobs?
Well, for a while at Hamburger Heaven, I was the chaplain.
The chaplain at Hamburger Heaven?
When the chef would finish cooking a hamburger, I'd call the roll up yonder.
What happened?
Well, one night at closing time, 3 hamburgers were missing.
Yes?
I was asked to exhale.
And?
On my breast, there was a trace of piccalilli.
Oh.
As chaplain, I was unfrocked.
Well, after you quit your celestial chores at Hamburger Heaven...
Then I went to work for Dr. Gallup.
Oh, taking polls?
Yes. My first job was the presidential election.
Henry, you two picked Dewey?
No, Fred. I had it figured out better than that.
Harry Truman?
Norman Thomas.
And you were through, eh?
Well, not right away. Dr. Gallup called me into his office and he said, Henry, I'll give you one more chance.
What happened then?
I picked Army over Navy by 20 points.
Henry, what kind of jobs are these for you? Why, you're a great radio comedian. Radio, yes, it is true, Henry. Radio needs you.
Radio is all washed up, Fred, and I'm getting ready.
Ready for what?
I'm taking a course at a television acting school.
A television acting school?
Yes, all the big stars of television are in my class.
What stars?
Well, there are 3 hockey players from the New York Rangers.
Yes, I've seen them on television.
2 trained seals, a dancing bear, Ed Sullivan.
Oh. That sounds like some school.
When you graduate, you know, you get a television PhD.
PhD?
Picture of Howdy Doody.
Henry, forget television. You belong in radio.
Fred, radio is dead.
Dead?
Radio City is a tombstone, 60 stories high.
But, Henry...
Radio killed itself.
How?
With those quiz shows, giveaway programs, those singing jingles.
What's wrong? What's wrong with singing jingles?
Well, Fred, take that Life Boy jingle.
Yeah?
Now, before radio, even your best friend wouldn't tell you.
Yeah?
Today, 4 strangers in a quartet yell at you.
Yes, I guess you're right, Henry. There's plenty wrong with radio.
And that's why I'm waiting for television.
But you have the same problems in television.
Oh, you're wrong, Fred. I'll show you. Now, take those crime programs.
Crime programs?
In radio, a crime program sounds something like this. The case of the missing glove. Or, it was only a mitten, but they knew the murderer had a hand in it. I am Mittens Morgan, international elephant thief. They call me Mittens because they always wear mittens on a job. In case the elephant gets away, nobody can't find no fingerprints. Right now, I got a hot elephant in the closet. I gotta lay low here till this thing blows up. Who's knocking? Must be one of the gang. Come in.
Okay, Mittens, the jig is up.
See, Secretary Vallon.
You got a hot elephant on the premises.
How did you know, Flatfoot?
I got wind of it coming up the stairs. You're under arrest, Mittens. Let's go.
Not so fast, copper.
Mittens, put down that blackjack.
Oh, that didn't do it, copper. I'll have to choke you to death. That didn't do it either, but this will do it.
Mittens, not the gun.
Oh, no? Take this.
Oh, you got me, Mittens, but you won't get away.
Oh, no?
I've got 3 FBI men outside. With my last breath, I'll blow my whistle.
3 FBI men. I'll have to shoot it out.
Okay, Chief. Oh.
That takes care of the first one.
Okay, Chief.
There's the second flatfoot.
Where's Mitten, Chief?
Here I am, copper.
Oh.
I gotta get out of here. Now, where'd I put that elephant? Oh, yeah, the closet. I remember. Come on, Jumbo. You and me has got business with Sabu. There you are, Fred.
I see what you mean, Henry.
See, Fred, in radio, a crime program is 90% sound effects. The sound man does all the work.
Well, what will crime programs be like in television?
Sound man, he's out.
Out, eh?
Yeah, the actors will have to really stab each other and shoot each other.
Say.
The audience will actually see the crime committed.
How do you mean?
A television show will look something like this. WNBT presents its new television crime feature, Henry Morgan, Big Game Thief. I gave them coppers a slip. They'll never catch Morgan, a big game thief. Who's that? I forgot to lock the door.
Okay, Morgan. The gig is up.
You ain't got that on me, copper.
Oh, no? Somebody broke into Frank Buck's apartment. There's a hippopotamus missing. Let's go, Morgan.
No, you don't, copper.
Morgan, put down that blackjack.
Well, I'm afraid that didn't do so good, cop. I'll have to choke you to death. That didn't do so good either, but this will.
Morgan, not the gun.
Take that.
You got me, Morgan. But there are 3 FBI men outside. With my last breath, I'll blow my whistle.
Three FBI men, eh? I'll have to shoot it out with them. That takes care of the first one. You want me, Chief? That's the second one. Oh. That's the end of that. Now I gotta make my getaway. Well, there you are, Fred.
Say, crime programs on television will be a lot different.
Oh, yeah, the actors are going to have to do everything.
But, Henry, getting hit on the head, being choked, is going to be pretty tough on the actors.
Oh, think of the employment that's going to create.
Employment, Henry. Henry, if an actor is killed...
Fred, crime shows will have to have bodies every week.
Oh.
Now, a dead actor in television is good for another 10 years.
If he's embalmed.
Naturally.
What about commercials, Henry?
Fred, in radio, they've been getting away with murder.
How do you mean?
Well, suppose that crime program we just did was sponsored by a dog biscuit company.
Yeah.
Now, in radio, the announcer would step up to the microphone and say, "Dog lovers, has your dog been sluggish lately? Has he been forgetting where he buries his bones? If he has, do your dog a favor. Get him a box of Barker's dog biscuits today. 1 box of Barker's dog biscuits contains more iron than 3 tons of spinach, more energy than 5 gallons of gasoline, more calcium than Dick Haynes' teeth." Watch how Bowser goes for them. Here, Bowser, here, Bowser. Now, Bowser, what have I got in my hand? That's right, a box of Barker's dog biscuits. Oh. Isn't that wonderful? Just listen to Bowser sniff that locked-in goodness. Now, up on your hind legs. Here's the biscuit. Wasn't that good? How good? Folks, I just wish you could see Bowser wagging his tail. Goodbye, Bowser. There goes a happy dog. And you, too, can have a happy dog if you feed your dog Barker's dog biscuits. Remember, Barker's dog biscuits are untouched by human hands. They're made by other dogs. See what I mean about radio? radio commercial said, the radio tells you all about a lot of things that nobody sees.
And one of the actors always plays the dog.
Sure, but in television, you'll have to get a real dog.
A real dog?
Sure. When they start the same commercial in television, you'll just see a box on the screen, and then the announcer will say, recognize this box, folks. It's Weekhart, the dog food served in leading kennels everywhere. Weekhart, jam-packed full of nutrition. Each box of Weekhart contains more iron than one automobile skid chain. More vitamin A, more rock salt than one rock. My assistant is demonstrating the rock. Thank you. More vitamin A than one coat hanger. Thank you, assistant. Yes, folks, if you want to have the liveliest dog in the neighborhood, feed him Weekhart. Here's a dog that's been raised on Weekhart since he's a pup. Here, Fido. Here, Fido. Over here, Fido. That's a good dog. Now, Fido, what am I holding in my hand? Fido? My hand?
Fido.
Fred, show him my hand.
Look up, Fido. We need glasses.
What am I holding in my hand, Fido? Fido? All right, Fido. Not going off. Tell me what I've got in my hand. Fred, why doesn't he bark?
Who knows? Try putting the box closer to him, Henry.
Here, Fido, sniff. Sniff. Sniff that rock in goodness. Come on, boy, sniff. Fido, breathe. That's right. Now sniff a little.
Henry, maybe if you opened the package.
All right, here, Fido. Doesn't that look yummy?
Henry.
Isn't that delicious?
Henry, he's ignoring the whole thing.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if your dog won't eat Weekhart, it makes a dandy breakfast cereal for the whole family. Or the breakfast cereal, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Weekhart is the only breakfast cereal that barks. Remember, if it isn't good enough for a dog, it's good enough for you.
Before we end another visit to our Ford dealer shop, your genial host suggests that you drive in to see him tomorrow and let him prescribe a get-ready-for winter treatment to your car. With his special equipment and special factory-approved methods, your Ford dealer can do the job right at a down-to-earth price. Next week, our guest will be Miss Shirley Booth. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.